Chapter 342. At first, Murong Shuang felt wronged enough. However, the people around her started to shout, "Well done. Such an unreasonable person needs to be taught a lesson." "What, miss? Don't vent your anger on irrelevant people when you're outside. She's not your servant. Why should she give in to you?" This time, not only was she beaten, but she was also humiliated. "Miss, you'd better leave now. The more people there are, the more humiliated you will be." Murong Shuang was frightened by Zhao Yun's words. Being beaten was a small matter, but a person of her status could not afford to be humiliated. She glared at Zhao Yun unwillingly. "Just you wait." Seeing Murong Shuang leave, Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. "Aunt Lu, let's go. Send Uncle Lu to the medical center," Zhao Yun said. "Okay," Auntie Lu replied. Looking at the direction Murong Shuang left, she was a little worried. It was all her fault. What if she caused trouble for Zhao Yun in the future? What if she caused trouble for Zhao Yun in the future? Seeing Aunt Lu's worry, Zhao Yun comforted her. "It's okay, Aunt Lu. She won't do anything to me. I didn't do anything. She can't violate the laws of our Dezhou country to harm me, right?" Aunt Lu sighed. "Little Yun, that's what you say, but it's better if we don't offend people with such status. What if they play some tricks? What would we do? It's useless to worry now. Let nature take its course." "Oh, okay." Zhao Yun sent Uncle Lu to the medical center. She estimated that he would have to stay in Yang City for a few days for treatment. After all, the illness could not be cured in a short time. Fortunately, she could send Bullfrog every day now. She had a daily income, so she was not worried about Uncle Lu's medical expenses. He went to the Fuling restaurant to deliver Bullfrog because he was delayed by Uncle Lu, so he was a little late today. When Zhao Yun arrived at the entrance of the restaurant, she unexpectedly saw Qin Hailan. Qin Hailan was carrying a basket on her back and was walking out of the restaurant with a cheerful look on her face. What was she doing here? A bad premonition rose in Zhao Yun's heart. As soon as Qin Hailan went out, she bumped into Zhao Yun, which was also unexpected. "Why are you here?" Zhao Yun asked. She thought that it had something to do with Bullfrog. This woman probably knew that she had sent Bullfrog to Fuling restaurant, so she sent him here herself. However, she had signed a contract with Sun Zhongquan in the past, so this Bullfrog could only be accepted by her. In addition, she had sent a lot of food over these days. Sun Zhongquan wouldn't accept Mulan's gifts, right? Qin Hailan was a little guilty at first, but then she calmed down and replied unhappily, "Why can't I come? Could it be that this restaurant belongs to your family? You're the only one who can come, and others can't come." Looking at Qin Hailan's arrogant clamor, Zhao Yun frowned. "Qin Hailan, you know what I mean. Stop pretending." "Who's pretending with you?" "I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy." Qin Hailan rolled her eyes at Zhao Yun and wanted to leave. Zhao Yun grabbed Qin Hailan. Chapter 343. The guests in Fuling all looked in the direction of Zhao Yun and Qin Hailan. "This woman." The waiter of the restaurant ran over and said to Zhao Yun and Qin Hailan, "Our restaurant still needs to do business. If you two want to make trouble, then run away. Don't do it in front of the restaurant." "Little brother, I'm not making trouble. You see, she's the one who pulled me. If you want to blame someone, then blame her." Zhao Yun sneered. "How interesting." She pushed Qin Hailan away, and Qin Hailan fell heavily to the ground. She warned Qin Hailan, "It's best that nothing happened, otherwise I won't let you off." "Hey, you." Qin Hailan was also a little annoyed. If it weren't for the sake of money, she would have already made trouble with Zhao Yuner. Sun Zhongguan had previously told her not to let Zhao Yuner know about this matter. Humph, forget it, I won't argue with you. Qin Hailan patted her sleeves and left. Zhao Yuner also entered Sun Zhangquan's restaurant. Sun Zhongguan smiled and said to Zhao Yuner, Yuner girl, why are you a little late today? You usually come here at this time. I was delayed by something today. Zhao Yuner replied. Sun Zhongguan helped Zhao Yuner weigh the bullfrog, and then paid the money. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but ask, shopkeeper, the two of us agreed before that you can only buy the bullfrog from me, and can't buy it from others. You didn't forget, right? Sun Zhongguan awkwardly pulled out a smile. Of course, I remember. Yuner girl, you suddenly said that. What do you mean? Zhao Yuner knew that even if she questioned Sun Zhongguan would not admit it. After all, they didn't catch him on the spot. Zhao Yuner smiled. It's nothing. It's good that the shopkeeper remembers it. I just want to remind you that you can't casually buy this bullfrog from someone else. If something happens one day, don't look for me to take responsibility. Sun Zhongguan smiled embarrassedly, feeling even more guilty. Would something go wrong? It shouldn't be. Qin Hailan had been sending bullfrog for some time now, and she didn't see any problems. Sun Zhongguan sighed. Forget it, it's better not to think about it. It shouldn't be a big deal. After all, he couldn't refuse the bullfrog that Qin Hailan had sent over. What if Qin Hailan found another restaurant and sold it to them? Wouldn't they be competing with their fooling restaurant for business? The specialty of his restaurant would be gone. Zhao Yuner returned to the village at around 10 o'clock. At noon, she made some twice-cooked pork and fried it with garlic. It tasted very delicious. It was a thin slice that was half fat and half black, and it tasted exceptionally good. Then there was cabbage and tofu soup, and horsehead orchid stir-fried tofu jerky. The three of them ate very contentedly. Zhao Yuner specially bought more meat back. She had promised Xiao Mao to give it more meat to eat, so she had to satisfy it. Xiao He saw Zhao Yuner's favoritism and was very unhappy. It lay under the table and didn't want to come out to eat. Even when she brought the meat to Xiao He proudly didn't even smell it. Zhao Yuner felt even more tired. Xiao Mao needed to be coaxed, and Xiao He also needed to be coaxed. The two little beasts were like children. The main thing was that she couldn't be biased. If she treated one well, the other would immediately be unhappy. Chapter 344. Miss Yuner, why do you say that? Mu Lianfeng's chopsticks paused for a few seconds, then he looked at Zhao Yuner and asked. You see, little animals are jealous of each other. If you treat one well, the other one will be unhappy. If you have two or more children, and one of them is good, the other one will be unhappy. So, you might as well have a good child, and there's no need to be biased. Miss Yuner, do you mean that you only want to have Daodu as your child in the future? You won't have any other children, right? Zhao Yuner nodded. Yes. Anyway, my Daodu is cute and sensible enough. I'll give my love to Daodu in the future, and Daodu won't be jealous of his younger brother or sister. Although Zhao Yuner's words were reasonable, it was the first time that Mu Lianfeng had heard such words. In this era, every family had a litter of children, especially rich families. If they had more wives, they would have more grandchildren. It was normal for ordinary farmers to have 5 or 6 children. Only one child was really rare, unless it was infertile. Mu Lianfeng didn't know why, but there was a bit of sadness in his heart. If Zhao Yuner didn't want to continue having children, then if he married her one day, would there be no children between them? Seeing Mu Lianfeng in a daze, Zhao Yuner thought something was wrong, so she asked, Mr. Mu, what's wrong? Do you think I'm wrong? The corners of Mu Lianfeng's mouth curled into a beautiful smile. Inadvertently, there was a hint of bitterness in his smile. Miss Yuner is right, but I think it's not a bad thing to have more children at home. A child is too lonely. If Daodu has a younger brother or sister, there will be someone to play with Daodu. Hearing that, Xiao Yuner fell silent for a while. It seemed that Mu Lianfeng's words made sense. Daodu, who was eating on the table, put down his bowl and chopsticks. His beautiful eyes curved into crescents, and he said to Xiao Yuner with a smile, "Mom, Daodu wants a younger brother or sister, so Daodu can play with them every day." "Mom, if you have a younger brother or sister, Daodu won't be jealous." Xiao Yuner saw Daodu's excitement when he said that. Before she could say anything, Daodu asked in a soft voice, "Mom, when can you give birth to a younger brother or sister for Daodu?" This child, did she think that she could give birth to a child just because she wanted to? She had to get the man to cooperate. After all, giving birth to a child was a matter between two people. The problem is, I don't even have a man now. Xiao Yuner didn't know how to explain this to Daodu. After thinking for a while, she said to Daodu, "Daodu, I can't give birth to a younger brother or sister for the time being, because I need to sleep with another man." "Mom, don't you sleep with Dad every day? Then do you already have a younger brother or sister in your stomach?" Daodu said as he ran to Xiao Yuner and reached out to touch Xiao Yuner's stomach. Xiao Yuner was stunned. Cough, cough. Mu Lianfeng, who was drinking soup, choked and coughed violently. Xiao Yuner smiled awkwardly at Mu Lianfeng. There was nothing between the two of them, but he made it seem like there was something between them. Chapter 345. Xiao Yuner began to educate Daodu. "Daodu, I'm different from your father. You can sleep with me, right? So, it's impossible for us to have a baby. Don't tell anyone that your father is in our house. It's best if you don't tell anyone else about it." Daodu nodded his head as if he understood. "Oh, mother, I understand. But, Mom, if you and Dad have a baby together, Daodu can sleep at Grandma's place tonight." Xiao Yuner didn't know what to say. This child. How embarrassing. Looking at Xiao Yuner's embarrassed expression, Mu Lianfeng gave Daodu a look of appreciation. He didn't dote on his son for nothing. "Daodu, you're still young. There are many things that you don't understand. Your father and I aren't married yet, so we can't have a baby yet." "Oh. I see." Daodu looked a little disappointed. Xiao Yuner touched Daodu's head and comforted him. "It's okay, Daodu. It's okay if you don't have a younger brother or sister. You still have your uncle, Xiao Mao, and Xiao He to accompany you." Daodu nodded after hearing Xiao Yuner's words. Xiao Yuner smiled awkwardly at Mu Lianfeng. "Lord Mu, I'm just a child. Please don't laugh at me." Mu Lianfeng shook his head. "It's okay. I think Daodu is quite cute." Xiao Yuner felt that she had been tricked by the two of them. Did the father and son collude with each other? In the afternoon, Xiao Yuner sent Xiao Tianlong and her fifth uncle to the town. Compared to Yang City, the town was much quieter. However, there were many shops in the town, and most of them were businesses. Many farmers brought the produce from their fields to the town to buy. The overall price was also cheaper than in Yang City. Along the way, Xiao Tianlong did not say much, while Zhao Yun, and Zhao Wenxing chatted non-stop. Zhao Wenxing urged Zhao Yun, to get married. Zhao Yun, turned around and talked about Zhao Wenxing. "Fifth uncle, you're the one who should get married. Look at the younger generation in our family. They all have children, but you don't even have a wife. You should let Grandma take care of it for you." Zhao Tianlong listened from the side, smiled, and agreed, "Yes, fifth uncle, I also think that you can ask Grandma to help you find a wife. Among us uncles, you're the only one left." His nephew and niece spoke one sentence after another, making Zhao Wenqing a little embarrassed. You guys are actually controlling your elders. Zhao Wenqing pretended to be angry and snorted lightly. Fifth uncle, I'm not controlling you. I'm just concerned about you. You don't have to worry about my marriage, and I don't need your grandma to help me talk about it. I have my own plans. As Zhao Wenqing spoke, his eyes darkened slightly, as if he had thought of something. Seeing Zhao Wenqing's reaction, Zhao Yun felt that his words had a deeper meaning, so she smiled and asked, Fifth uncle, have you already taken a fancy to a girl from another family? Being teased by Zhao Yun like this, Zhao Wenqing's face unconsciously turned red. You little girl, what are you thinking? Okay, I won't say any more. Zhao Yun knew that Zhao Wenqing was a thin-skinned person. Zhao Yun first sent Zhao Tianlong to school, then sent Zhao Wenqing to his residence. Chapter 346. It looked a little shabby, but it was a brick house, which was slightly different from the thatched houses in the village. Zhao Wenqing rented a single room in a house. When they entered the courtyard, there was a young woman standing in the courtyard with a child on her back. The child was about 1 year old, and she was shaking the quilt in the courtyard. Seeing Zhao Wenqing walking in, the woman smiled at Zhao Wenqing. Brother Zhao, you're back. When Zhao Wenqing saw the woman, a gentle smile appeared on his face. Yes, I have to go to school tomorrow. You must be tired from the journey. Go in and have a rest. I've cleaned the house for you. Cuizhuan, thank you. I'm a man, and I don't know how to clean the house. Zhao Wenqing smiled shyly. It's fine. It's no trouble. Zhao Yun followed behind Zhao Wenqing. Looking at the interaction between Zhao Wenqing and Jin Cuizhuan, she felt that there was a subtle relationship between them. Jin Cuizhuan also saw Zhao Yun following behind Zhao Wenqing, so she pointed at Zhao Yun and asked. Brother Zhao, Zhao Wenqing introduced, this is my niece. She used her family's donkey to send me to the town today. Jin Cuizhuan smiled at Zhao Yun come in and have a rest. I'll go get you a glass of water. Zhao Yun glanced at the woman in front of her. She was only in her 20s. Her facial features were considered pretty, but her face was a little sallow. At first glance, it was obvious that it was because she worked hard all year round and didn't eat well. It's fine, I'll go back now. Zhao Yun declined. Go in and have a rest. You must be tired from the journey. Drink some water. Jin Cuizhuan said while pulling Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun couldn't resist Jin Cuizhuan's enthusiasm, so she had to go in. Although the house was a little old, it was clean and tidy by Jin Cuizhuan. It looked very comfortable. Jin Cuizhuan took out a cup and poured a glass of cold water for Zhao Yun. There was also a cute 3-year-old girl in the house. His eyes were big and bright, like stars. If she was a little fatter, she would probably be even cuter. Zhao Yun found that other than Jin Cuizhuan and the 2 children, there was no one else. There were only women's clothes and children's clothes hanging outside to dry. He had a rough idea that Jin Cuizhuan should be a widow. No wonder she felt that Zhao Wenqing's relationship with a married woman was somewhat ambiguous. It turned out that she didn't have a man. Did her 5th uncle fall in love with Jin Cuizhuan? She didn't think that there was anything bad about Jin Cuizhuan, but based on her understanding of old Zhao's family, if Zhao Wenqing really liked Jin Cuizhuan, it was unlikely that anything would happen between him and Jin Cuizhuan. Old Zhao's family would definitely not agree to let Jin Cuizhuan marry into their family. In the eyes of old Zhao's family, Jin Cuizhuan was a burden with 2 children behind her. In addition, Zhao Wenqing's family was very good. He was handsome, and he was also a scholar. There were many people who wanted to matchmake for Zhao Wenqing. Zhao Yun sighed in her heart. I hope it's not what I think it is. Wah, 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 a baby's cry sounded. Chapter 347. Okay. Zhao Yunhe and Zhao Wenxing both responded at the same time. Jin Suizhuan carried the child into the house. When a woman is breastfeeding, a man will always be embarrassed. After Jin Suizhuan left, Zhao Wenxing's gaze still fell on the direction Jin Suizhuan left. Zhao Yunhe waved her hand in front of Zhao Wenxing's eyes and said with a smile, "Fifth uncle, what are you looking at? She has already left and you are still looking. Are you interested in her?" Facing Zhao Yunhe's ambiguous smile, Zhao Wenxing's face turned red again. "Yunhe girl, don't talk nonsense. If someone heard it, it will not be good for Suizhuan's reputation." Zhao Wenxing was a bit serious. Zhao Yunhe did not continue to joke. She knew that this widow's door was full of troubles. "Big girl, come and see what Uncle Zhao has brought for you." Zhao Wenxing waved at the big girl. The big girl shyly walked towards Zhao Wenxing's side. "Come, big girl, take it," Zhao Wenxing said. At the same time, he took out a candy from his pocket and stuffed it into the big girl's hand. When the big girl saw the candy, her eyes lit up. She peeled a candy and stuffed it into her mouth. The sweet taste is what children like the most. "Thank you, Uncle Zhao." The big girl smiled sweetly at Zhao Wenxing. "Eat it. Uncle Zhao specially left it for you. Don't be polite." NN. Zhao Wenxing's eyes were full of love. Zhao Yunhe watched from the side. She felt that her fifth uncle was the big girl's biological father. Only a biological father would be so good to a child, right? Zhao Yunhe rested for a while and then left. When people were reminiscing, she always felt that she was a hindrance. When she returned to the village, it was not early. She estimated that she would be able to cook in a while. On the way, she met Gooden, who was carrying a wooden bucket back from the ridge. Seeing Zhao Yunhe, Gooden still went forward and smiled shyly. He greeted Zhao Yunhe. "Aunt Yun." Zhao Yunhe also smiled at Gooden. She glanced at the bullfrog and a few toads in Gooden's bucket. Zhao Yunhe frowned and said to Gooden, "Gooden, Aunt Yun told you that you can't eat this toad. It's easy to get poisoned if you eat it." "Aunt Yun, I know. But my mother told me that toads can also make money." "I can't tell." Gooden lowered his head and felt wronged. Zhao Yunhe's brows furrowed even deeper. This Qin Hailan, isn't she too greedy for money? They really weren't afraid of poisoning people to death. If something were to happen, let's see how things would end up. Seeing Zhao Yunhe frowning, Gooden said, "Aunt Yun, I'm sorry. It was probably because of the bullfrog." Gooden's guilt was written all over his face. Zhao Yunhe smiled and said to Gooden, "Gooden, Aunt Yun doesn't blame you. But you are a good child. You have to persuade your mother. It's okay to make less money, but don't harm others. It's best not to eat toads, in case you get poisoned. Do you understand?" Gooden nodded his head heavily. "Zhao Yunhe, don't meddle in my family's affairs." Qin Hailan's reprimanding voice came from not far away. Qin Hailan walked in front of Zhao Yunhe and pulled Gooden over. She said to Gooden, "Gooden, don't talk to random people. Hurry up and go back." Eggface lowered his head in grievance as he responded, "Oh." Chapter 348. Qin Hailan pursed her lips unhappily. "Who asked you to be so kind?" "Zhao Yunhe, don't meddle in other people's business." Zhao Yunhe curled the corners of her lips. She couldn't be bothered to interfere. There would be a day when she would get her retribution for being so wicked. The next morning, Zhao Yunhe drove Mulan to Yang City. After they separated from the family, Mulan became more diligent. She had been weaving more baskets recently, thinking of selling more baskets. That way, she could get more money back so that the family could live a better life. However, she had made so many baskets that Mulan's hands were covered in wounds. On the way, Xiao Yun had chatted with Mulan about the family Zhu situation. After Mulan separated from the family, Mrs. Zhu cried all day long and regretted it. Her eldest daughter-in-law was a lazy person. She didn't even take care of the housework at home. In addition, she had a child who was only a few months old. Naturally, she pushed all the housework to Mrs. Zhu. For so many years, it was Mulan who was used to working hard. Letting her do so much work at once, how could old Madame Zhu bear it? However, Mrs. Zhu complained to her son, while Zhu Dainius sided with his wife. If Mrs. Zhu wasn't satisfied, she could always separate from the family again. Mrs. Zhu didn't dare. If the eldest branch separated from her, no one would be able to do the work in the fields. She couldn't expect an old woman like her to retire at her age, could she? How could she move with her old bones? Her third son spent a lot of money every year. Without the eldest branch, he couldn't do it. Therefore, she could only endure it and didn't dare to scold her eldest daughter-in-law. When Xiao Yun heard Mulan's words, she only felt that some people were despicable. She bullied the weak and feared the strong. Now was the right time. People like Mrs. Zhu had to be taught a lesson. Yuner, now that we've separated from the family, I feel that our days are more promising than before. Even though we're a little poor now and have a lot of pressure on us, it's always good to work hard. Yes, the most important thing is that your mother-in-law won't have the chance to bully you. Xiao Yun joked. Mulan also laughed. Xiao Yun first sent Mulan to the market, and then went to the restaurant to send Bullfrog. This time, Xiao Yun gave him 50 kilograms, which was the maximum amount she could give him. Sun Zhongquan paid 2 taels of silver to Xiao Yun in one go. Looking at the money in her hands, Xiao Yun was in a good mood. If she could maintain this income, she would be able to live a good life soon. Yun, you're sending more and more goods every day, right? Sun Zhongquan said with a smile. Xiao Yun noticed that Sun Zhongquan's tone was a little strange, so she nodded and asked. Yes, manager, what's wrong? Can't I send more? No. It's just that the sales in the store aren't as good as before, so sometimes I can't sell the goods I send. Xiao Yun frowned. But manager, you urged me to send as many as possible not long ago. Why are you saying that you can't sell them now? Or do you have other supply channels and don't want to do business with me? Sun Zhongquan hurriedly waved his hand. No, of course not. Miss Yun, I'm just saying. You can send as many goods as you want in the future. Xiao Yun nodded lightly, then left the restaurant and went to the market. Xiao Yun and Mulan weren't in a hurry to sell the goods since they didn't need to drive the bullock cart. Chapter 349. The two of them chuckled. Business was pretty good. In just one morning, Mulan had sold nearly 200 copper coins. To Mulan, this was already considered a large sum of money. Although she couldn't do this every day, she could still make do with a few hundred copper coins a month. She could barely get by. Mulan sighed with emotion. I'm thinking about when I can save more money and build a few houses. At that time, I'll have a separate house. It'll be more comfortable for my family to live together. At present, he continued to live with old Madame Zhu. When he heard old Madame Zhu's voice, he couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. If he had his own house and lived a little further away, he really wouldn't have anything to do with the Zhu family. Xiao Yun could understand Mulan's feelings. It's always good to have a dream. Life will get better slowly. Mulan sighed. That's true. Building a house costs a lot of money. Now that we're selling these things, it's already good enough that we can live on, let alone building a house. In the end, it was because of money. Xiao Yun looked at Mulan's injured fingers. She couldn't continue weaving baskets for a long time. It was tiring and hurt her hands. The most important thing was that she didn't make a lot of money. If she wanted to live a better life, she had to think of another way out. What kind of business could she do in this town? Xiao Yun suddenly thought of the snack stall. If she did it alone, she would be busy and strenuous. But if she did it with 2 people, it wouldn't be so tiring. She could also make more money. Xiao Yun had a feeling that she couldn't do business with Sun Zhongquan for long. She didn't know what Sun Zhongquan and Qin Hailan were doing. If she really couldn't do business with Sun Zhongquan, it would be better for her to plan in advance. During the day, Mulan's baskets were almost sold out. After packing up the remaining things, the 2 of them went to the market to buy some vegetables. Mulan directly weighed a caddy of pork and brought it back. The children at home hadn't eaten anything good. She had some money on hand, so she had to buy some to nourish the children and satisfy their cravings. On the way back, Xiao Yun told Mulan about the snack stall plan. Mulan was very interested. Yun, if it's possible, I want to do it with you. I'm not afraid of hard work. As long as we can make money, it's enough. Xiao Yun nodded. As long as they could make money, it didn't matter if it was a little hard. But Yun, I don't have enough money. Xiao Yun patted Mulan's. Yun, I feel that you're the one who suffers losses. How about this? When we share the money, you can get more and give me less. Or I can work for you every month, and you can give me a little salary. Mulan, don't you know our relationship? Don't be so polite with me. We can talk about how to share the money later. Let's go to Yang City to check the situation and see when we can buy the stall. Sure. After lunch, Xiao Yun wanted to go up the mountain, but there were a lot of officers and soldiers. These soldiers gathered in front of Xiao Yun's house, which attracted many villagers. They were all chattering about what had happened. Chapter 350. A group of people gathered together, chattering non-stop, discussing what was going on. If it wasn't a serious crime, there wouldn't be so many soldiers here. What's going on? I don't know. Something serious must have happened. Something serious must have happened. If it wasn't serious, why would so many soldiers come here? These soldiers came to Yun'er's house. Did Yun'er commit a crime? What crime could Yun'er commit? She's just a woman. What crime could she have committed? I'm not sure. Look at Yun'er. She's just a woman, but she bought a donkey before. I was wondering where she got the money. It's not easy for her to support herself. Now it seems that she must have stolen it. These soldiers came to catch Yun'er. Could it be that Yun'er was caught stealing? I think so. Otherwise, why would so many soldiers come here? Alas, it's so embarrassing. We've never seen such a thing in our village. She's not afraid of being embarrassed. Didn't she get pregnant before marriage? Old Zhao's family is embarrassed again. Zhao Yun'er walked out because of the noise outside. When she saw the soldiers outside, her heart skipped a beat. There was a bad premonition in his heart. Xiao Yun rushed over to the constable and politely asked, I don't know why the officials have come to my house. The constable glanced at Xiao Yun, who was standing in front of him. He saw that Xiao Yun's appearance was delicate and pretty, her voice was crisp and pleasant. Her every movement had a unique temperament. She didn't look like an ordinary country woman. She was polite to him, but didn't show any humility in front of him. The constable had a good impression of Xiao Yun'er. Would such a woman really commit a crime? Are you Zhao Yuner? The constable asked with a cold face. Zhao Yuner nodded and responded. That's right. Miss, the authorities are now suspecting you of poisoning people and are now arresting you. As the constable spoke, two soldiers stepped forward and surrounded Zhao Yuner. Poisoning people. Zhao Yuner frowned. Was he talking about her? Since they had reported her name and found her doorstep, these people must have confirmed that there was no mistake. Zhao Yuner took a deep breath and asked the constable calmly, I wonder if you can tell me what kind of poison was used. Can you explain it more clearly? I don't understand. You'll know when you follow us to the magistrate's office. We can't tell you now, the constable said. Zhao Yuner knew that the constable was already being courteous to her. If she continued to ask, it would mean that she did not know how to appreciate favors. Miss, let's go. Come back with us now. Zhao Yuner looked at the constable awkwardly and pleaded, Brother official, I still have a child. I wonder if I could go into the house and talk to him for a while. After I'm done, I'll go with you. The constable glanced at Zhao Yuner and thought that a woman like Zhao Yuner couldn't run away. There was no harm in talking to her. He said, All right then. Miss, try to hurry. Zhao Yuner nodded. Thank you, brother official. After speaking, Zhao Yuner turned and went into the house. Mu Lianfeng leaned against the door. When he saw Zhao Yuner come in, he quickly asked, Miss Yuner, why are there so many soldiers here? What's the matter? Chapter 351. Zhao Yuner told Mu Lianfeng what the soldiers said. She didn't understand what was going on, she could only find out when she went to the government. Being accused of something for no reason, Zhao Yuner had to wash it off. It wasn't her doing, but she wasn't afraid. If someone was framing her, she had to figure it out. Miss Yuner, do you want me to help you say something? They won't dare to act recklessly on my face. Mu Lianfeng said. Zhao Yuner shook her head, Young Master Mu, our great Zhou country does things according to the law. Although you are the heir, you can't stop the government from handling the case. If young Master Mu wants to help me, then I ask young Master Mu to help me take care of Daodu. If Mu Rongzi doesn't find it troublesome, then I can't come back, so help me find out what happened. Zhao Yuner left the room after saying this. Mother, Daodu, don't be afraid. Your mother will be fine. Mu Lianfeng hugged Daodu and comforted him. Seeing Zhao Yuner leave with the soldiers, Mu Lianfeng's eyes flashed with a cold light. The news of Zhao Yuner poisoning people and being arrested by the government spread through the village. When the old Zhao family rushed to Zhao Yuner's house, Zhao Yuner had already left. Hu Chunhua cursed under her breath, this little b*tch, she must think that she hasn't disgraced the Zhao family enough. She's capable of doing anything. Humph, mother, isn't that right, she deserves it. She threw feces at us, now look at it. Retribution from the heavens has come. Zhao Xinhui was taking joy in other people's misfortune. Hu Chunhua frowned. Although Zhao Xinhui was right, she was happy that Zhao Yuner had this kind of ending. But when others laughed at the old Zhao family, she wasn't happy. When Zhao Yuner got pregnant before marriage, it had been a long time since people talked about it. Now that Zhao Yuner did such a shameful thing, even the past was dug up. The girls in the family were at the age to find a husband. Old Zhao family's reputation was bad, now all good in-laws were gone. This little slut, she should have died long ago. She doesn't do proper things and only think of crooked ways. Hu Chunhua said and spat on the ground. She pointed at Liang Jinxiao and scolded again, look at your good daughter. God damn it, what kind of trash did she give birth to in our family? Liang Jinxiao frowned, feeling unhappy. Yuner was in trouble, but she was only worried. She wasn't like Hu Chunhua, scolding her whenever she could. Zhao Yun was old Zhao family's granddaughter. Was old Zhao family really not worried about her life or death? Mother Yun must have been wronged. How could she poison others? Don't you know Yun's character? Liang Jinchao retorted. Hu Chunhua snorted lightly. How can I not understand? That little bitch is very powerful. I think she most likely stole someone else's things and was found out. Then, she was poisoned and killed by someone. No wonder she's living a good life now. It turns out that she's doing these sneaky things. When Zhao Ping heard Hu Chunhua scolding Zhao Yun, she immediately became excited and echoed, "That's right, mother. You only know how to speak up for that wretched girl Yun. You don't talk about her no matter how many shameful things she has done. Grandma is right." Chapter 352. Zhao Ping was pleased with Hu Chunhua's praise. She smiled at Hu Chunhua and said, "Grandma, of course. I'm not like Zhao Yun. Sigh, third daughter-in-law, why are you so different when you're born from the same womb?" Hu Chunhua scolded Liang Jinchao again. Liang Jinchao didn't say anything. She didn't have the mood to bicker with Hu Chunhua. Instead, she was thinking about what to do with Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun was taken away by the soldiers. There was no one from the government at home. If there was, she could ask someone to find out what was going on. "Grandma, Zhao Yun is gone. She probably won't be released this time. Let's take back everything in her house," Zhao Ping suggested to Hu Chunhua. When Hu Chunhua heard this, she felt that it made sense. That little B***TCH's donkey is still in the shed. Let's take it back and use it. Hu Chunhua thought of Zhao Yun's donkey. It was probably worth a lot of money. Ordinary farmers didn't have it. Even if they didn't sell it, it was convenient to transport it to the streets in towns. Hu Chunhua glanced at Zhao Yun's wooden shed and saw the donkey. It ran toward Zhao Yun's wooden shed with its short legs. "TSK, TSK, TSK. Little donkey, come back with me. I'll get you a lot of grass to eat." Hu Chunhua smiled and said to Xiao Mao. Xiao Mao raised its head and glanced at Hu Chunhua. Then, it turned its head away arrogantly and ignored Hu Chunhua. Hu Chunhua treated Xiao Mao as a little beast. Naturally, she wouldn't argue with it. After all, beasts couldn't understand human language. "Little donkey. Come with me." Hu Chunhua pulled a handful of straw and waved it in front of Xiao Mao. Then, she untied the rope on Xiao Mao and wanted to take it away. Xiao Mao looked at Hu Chunhua as if it was looking at an idiot. Did this old woman really think that it was an ordinary donkey? Did she think that it would be tricked by a few straws? Hu Chunhua pulled the rope and found that it wouldn't budge. She was in a rare good mood and continued to coax Xiao Mao. Let's go. Little donkey, come to my house. My house is much better than here. It has more grass and a bigger shed. You'll definitely feel more comfortable there." Xiao Mao ignored Hu Chunhua. No matter how hard he tugged, Hu Chunhua refused to budge. Hu Chunhua felt that it was strange. Could it be that this little bastard understood human nature and knew how to recognize people? "Are you leaving or not? If you don't leave, this old woman will kill you and stew you with donkey meat," Hu Chunhua threatened. Since the soft approach didn't work, the donkey decided to use the hard approach. However, Hu Chunhua sadly found that Xiao Mao was too arrogant. After it glanced at Hu Chunhua, it began to struggle. "Stinky donkey, hurry up and leave this old woman." Hu Chunhua tugged hard again. It was just a little donkey. She had experienced so many things. She didn't believe that she couldn't beat it today. The little donkey was also a little angry because of Hu Chunhua. When Hu Chunhua pulled it, it raised its two hind legs and kicked Hu Chunhua to the ground. There was a wooden stick on the ground. It poked Hu Chunhua's back. It was very painful. Hu Chunhua fell to the ground and began to shout, "Ouch! It hurts so much, it hurts so much. You little beast, you really dare to kick me. Today, I'll skin you and make donkey meat." Chapter 353. Hu Chunhua's face and mouth were covered in Xiao Mao's pee, and the smell of urine rushed into Hu Chunhua's nostrils. Hu Chunhua was stunned for a moment, and it took her a while to react. This donkey actually dared to pee on her face and mouth. "You damned donkey, I got up today. If I don't kill you, my surname isn't Hua." Hu Chunhua shouted angrily. Not long ago, Xiao Yun splashed feces, and now she was peed on by the donkey in Zhao Yun's house. She was so aggrieved. There were villagers watching in front of Zhao Yun's house. When they saw Hu Chunhua's appearance, they couldn't help but laugh. This old woman from the Zhao family is too greedy. She was still thinking about Yun's things after separating from the family. Now look, her mouth is covered in urine. I wonder how donkey urine tastes. Ha ha ha, it definitely won't taste good. What kind of urine doesn't have a pungent smell? Wicked people get their retribution. The villagers said sarcastic remarks one after another. Usually, they didn't like Hu Chunhua. Now that they finally got a chance to say something, they definitely had to seize the opportunity. Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu were at the side, covering their mouths and laughing secretly. "Brother Tianan, Xiao Mao is really amazing. It did a great job. Ha, look at our grandmother. She was tortured so miserably." In front of Zhao Tianan, Zhao Tianfu didn't hide anything and said everything in his heart. He was originally worried that after Zhao Yun left, his grandmother would definitely do a big sweep. He didn't expect to suffer as soon as he had the idea of getting Xiao Mao. Why does Xiao Mao seem to understand human nature? Zhao Tianan was also very curious about Xiao Mao. Of course, Xiao Mao was bought by second sister. It has spiritual energy when it was bought. Moreover, second sister is very good to Xiao Mao. Xiao Mao is not an ungrateful person. Why would it follow grandmother? Zhao Tianfu replied with some innocence. Zhao Tianan smiled. It seemed that his younger brother really regarded Xiao Mao as a human. How could an animal know so much? Hu Chunhua was even angrier because of the laughter around her. It was all the donkey's fault. If it wasn't for it, she wouldn't be in such a sorry state and be laughed at. Tui! 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 Hu Chunhua spat out a few mouthfuls of saliva. Just as he was about to get up, he was kicked a few more times by Xiao Mao. This time, Xiao Mao's hind leg kicked Hu Chunhua's face. Ouch! Hu Chunhua screamed in pain. Xiao Mao's hind leg was very strong. In addition, Xiao Mao's hooves were hard. When it kicked Hu Chunhua's face, it was more painful than being punched. The pain on her face was a little hot. Unfortunately, Hu Chunhua couldn't see it. If she could see it, she would have discovered that her entire face was covered in bruises where Furry's hooves had kicked her. Ha ha ha. The laughter around them became even louder. Usually, they saw people bullying animals. When had they ever seen animals bully people? Speaking of which, this donkey was really strange. It bullied Hu Chunhua in one way after another. Eldest brother, second brother, third brother, are you blind? Hurry up and come over here. Help me catch this damn donkey. Today, I must put it in a pot of oil. I'm so angry. How dare it bully an old woman like me? I'm not done with it. Hu Chunhua shouted at the Zhao brothers. The men in old Zhao's family were shocked by what was happening in front of them. They couldn't react at all. Chapter 354. After Hu Chunhua's reprimand, they finally reacted. "Mother, I'm coming," Zhao Tianshui answered eagerly. Even if they couldn't do anything else, they could just catch a donkey. After being scolded by Hu Chunhua for being heartless, Zhao Wenshi also ran over eagerly and said to Hu Chunhua, "Mother, I'll go catch it for you now." This time, Zhao Wenhua didn't move. What did his mother do? They still didn't know what happened to Yun. Maybe she came back safe and sound. How could they steal Yun-er's things while Yun-er wasn't home? Catch it, catch it. Let's eat donkey meat tonight. Upon hearing that they were going to eat donkey meat, many people in old Zhao's family became excited and gluttonous. How much meat would be cooked from such a big donkey? It would probably be very satisfying. They had eaten meat at the banquet before, but they hadn't eaten to their heart's content. Meat was expensive. How could they let them eat so much? "Mother, I'll help you catch it too." Li Chuiying stepped forward and pounced in Xiao Mao's direction. Seeing that they were all heading towards Xiao Mao, Xiao Tianfu became anxious. They should be able to catch it. "Xiao Mao, run!" Xiao Tianfu shouted at Xiao Mao. Xiao Mao seemed to understand Xiao Tianfu's words. It kicked Hu Chunhua's face a few more times and then ran away. "Ouch!" Hu Chunhua yelled. This time, she was kicked hard again. When she looked up, she realized that Xiao Mao had already run far away. Did this beast become a demon? "Hurry up and catch it!" Hu Chunhua yelled in a muffled voice. The men from the Zhao family hurriedly chased after it. How could they outrun a donkey? Adding on Xiao Mao's godly speed, they quickly slipped away. The men ran back, panting. Zhao Wenshi said with a bitter face, "Mother, that donkey was like flying. I couldn't catch up with it." "That's right, Mother. We can't outrun them at all. I'm so tired." Zhao Wenshi was also panting heavily. Hu Chunhua wailed, "Why did old Zhao give birth to so many useless things? They can't even catch up with a donkey." Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshi looked at each other and felt a little speechless. They had tried their best to chase after it, but Xiao Mao's speed was not something an ordinary person could catch up to. They were not good at running. He was dog-tired from chasing after them, but he was scolded by Hu Chunhua instead. It was inevitable that he would feel unhappy. "Mother, you can't say that. You don't know that no one in the village can catch up with that donkey." Zhao Wenshi pursed his lips and said. Hu Chunhua cried even louder, "God, my old woman was bullied by the donkey. Now the donkey has run away." Seeing Hu Chunhua crying and yelling, the eldest daughter-in-law, Feng Zhangxia, hurried over to remind her, "Mother, be careful. There are so many people watching. Don't be a joke." With Feng Zhangxia's reminder, Hu Chunhua immediately reacted. Wiping the tears from the corners of her eyes, she pointed at the men and said, "Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and help me up." Oh, okay." The men from old Zhao's family gathered around and began to pull Hu Chunhua. With great difficulty, they pulled Hu Chunhua up from the ground. "It hurts." Hu Chunhua rubbed her face. Chapter 355. Zhao Xinhui was straightforward and did not consider Hu Chunhua's feelings. Hu Chunhua's lips twitched a little awkwardly. "Is that so? Mother, if you don't believe me, let eldest sister-in-law and second sister-in-law smell it. Let them smell it and we'll know." After Zhao Xinhui finished speaking, Hu Chunhua turned her mouth to Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia and blew a breath of air over. The smell in her mouth was really too strange. there was the smell of urine and a stench. Hu Chunhua did not usually brush her teeth, so she had bad breath. When she breathed out, Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia were almost disgusted. The two of them did not dare to say anything to Hu Chunhua. They were afraid that Hu Chunhua would be angry. They frowned and endured the smell of Hu Chunhua's breath. Zhao Xinhui said, "Eldest sister-in-law, second sister-in-law, do you think it smells like urine? Is it very unpleasant?" Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia were a little embarrassed. How could they say this in front of Hu Chunhua? If they told the truth, Hu Chunhua would probably be unhappy. "And, it's fine." Li Chuiying smiled embarrassedly. Zhao Xinhui rolled her eyes at Li Chuiying. "Second sister-in-law, you really know how to lie through your teeth. Wasn't it just that she did not dare to say it? How cowardly." I think your second sister-in-law is telling the truth. My mouth is not that smelly. I'll be fine after I rinse my mouth later." Zhao Xinhui did not pay any more attention to Hu Chunhua. She covered her nose and walked to the side. Hu Chunhua was still angry about Xiao Mao. Li Chuiying said fawningly, "Mother, don't be angry. Zhao Yun must have good things at home. We can take back all the firewood, rice, oil and salt." "Yes, yes, yes." Second daughter-in-law, first daughter-in-law, go to the little B*TCH's kitchen and search for everything. Li Chuiying answered eagerly, "Okay, Mom, I'll go now." With that, Li Chuiying ran into Zhao Yun'er's kitchen. Feng Zhangxia hesitated for a moment before following him. "Mother, Yun'er might be fine. Isn't it inappropriate to take Yun'er's things now?" Liang Jinchao couldn't help but say. He thought that Hu Chunhua had gone too far. Hu Chunhua rolled her eyes at Liang Jinchao. "Why not? Did you see how badly that little bitch's donkey kicked my old woman? Her face is swollen. She should at least get some interest back, right?" Zhao Wenhua thought that Hu Chunhua was being unreasonable. "Mother, if you didn't catch Yun'er's donkey, you wouldn't have been kicked. Isn't this your problem?" "Damn brat, how can you say that?" Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenhua. Zhao Wenhua was so scared that she didn't dare to say anything. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinchao felt uncomfortable with Hu Chunhua's overbearing attitude, but they could do nothing about it. If they tried to reason with Hu Chunhua, they would be scolded for a while. The surrounding villagers couldn't stand it anymore. No matter what Zhao Yun'er was like, old Zhao's family was still too shameless. Therefore, someone stood up and said, "Auntie Zhao, what you're doing isn't right. Yun'er has already separated from old Zhao's family. Her things have nothing to do with you. We don't even know if she's fine, but you've already taken everything from her. To put it bluntly, you're thieves. If Yun'er goes to the government and accuses you of stealing and robbing, all of us can testify." Chapter 356. Auntie Zhao, you can't go overboard. Now that Yun'er is in trouble, shouldn't you old Zhao's family ask around and help her find out what happened? Then, you can come up with a solution together, right? Why are you looting her things as soon as she left? Hu Chunhua was embarrassed by these people, but how could she be willing to let go of Zhao Yun'er's things? She said, "It's none of your business. This is old Zhao's business. Now that Yun'er is gone, we should take her things back for safekeeping. Otherwise, who knows if you will steal them. Auntie Zhao, how can you accuse others like this? You're so unreasonable." "Who's unreasonable? I'm too lazy to argue with you. It's not your family's business. Why are you poking your nose into it?" Zhao Ping'er stood up and helped Hu Chunhua to reply. Seeing that old Zhao's family was unreasonable, the surrounding villagers knew that it was useless to say anything. They had no right to interfere with old Zhao's business. Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia rummaged through Zhao Yun'er's kitchen. In the end, they found a bag of polished rice, half a bag of flour, some oil, salt, and soy sauce. Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia only took the polished rice, flour, oil, and salt. Li Chuiying ran to Hu Chunhua with the things and said eagerly, "Mother, look, these are good things. Can we cook a meal of polished rice tonight?" Li Chuiying was a glutton. Life was hard for people in the countryside, so they usually ate brown rice. It was not easy to eat brown rice alone. They would also eat mixed with other grains and wild vegetables. If they cooked a meal of pure polished rice, it would be a very good meal. Hu Chunhua didn't feel reluctant to give up the food that they got from Zhao Yun'er's house. She directly agreed, "Okay, let's eat a meal of polished rice tonight." Old Zhao's family was delighted when they heard this. Li Chuiying suddenly thought of something and his eyes lit up. He ran to Hu Chunhua and said to Hu Chunhua, "Mother, I have a good idea." "What idea? Didn't you say that you sold Dowda to such a rich family? Do they still want children?" "I asked around 2 days ago, but it seems that I haven't bought one yet." "Mother, that last Yun has been taken away. Let's just send that little bastard over to them. We even earned 200 taels of silver." Hu Chunhua became excited when Li Chuiying mentioned it. "Second daughter-in-law, you're so smart. You have so many ideas in old Zhao's family. If we get 200 taels of silver, I'll make you a new dress." Li Chuiying grinned from ear to ear when she heard that. "Mother, I'm doing this for our old Zhao's family. That little bastard is probably still in the house, right? Second daughter-in-law, go and carry him out," Hu Chunhua ordered. "Oh, Mother, I'll go now." Li Chuiying ran to Zhao Yun'er's house. Chapter 357. Liang Jinxiao was crying so loudly that the surrounding villagers could hear her. Hu Chunhua glared at her third daughter-in-law. She was crying so loudly because she wanted the surrounding villagers to hear her. Later, the villagers would definitely attack her again. Hu Chunhua took the initiative to scold Liang Jinxiao. "Third daughter-in-law, what nonsense are you talking about? When did I say that I was going to sell Dowdu? I'm sending Dowdu to a rich family so that he can enjoy a good life. This is for Dowdu's own good. Otherwise, if Yun'er isn't around anymore, old Zhao's family will have to help raise him." Hu Chunhua's words made the surrounding villagers think that she meant that if Zhao Yun'er didn't come back, Dowdu would have no one to take care of him. At least someone would be able to raise him if he was given away. If that was the case, then there was no need to criticize her. Outsiders didn't know what was going on, but Liang Jinxiao was well aware. She didn't want to sell him or give him away. If Zhao Yun'er didn't see Dowdu when she came back, she would definitely go crazy. "Mother, just keep Dowdu. You can't give Dowdu away. Third daughter-in-law, if you dare to make trouble with me again, I'll ask third brother to divorce you." Hu Chunhua was so angry that she kicked Liang Jinxiao again. She really didn't know what was good for her. "Ah!" Suddenly, a woman's miserable scream was heard. The person who screamed wasn't Liang Jinxiao, but Li Chuiying. Then, everyone saw a person flying out of the house and landing heavily on the ground. Bang! A violent sound was heard. Li Chuiying was hit hard. Then, Li Chuiying's cries and howls were heard. Everyone was a little confused by the situation in front of them. They had yet to react to what was going on. Didn't he go in to catch the child? Why did Li Chuiying fly out? Did he see a ghost? Under everyone's curious gazes, a tall man walked out of the house, followed by a little boy. It was Dowdu. The man's face was cold and handsome, and his body exuded a noble and extraordinary temperament. When he appeared in front of the crowd, many people were stunned, especially the young ladies and women who came to join in the fun. They grew up in the countryside and had never seen a handsome man like Mu Lianfeng. Li Chuiying struggled on the ground in pain for a while, then shouted in the direction of Hu Chunhua, "Mother, Xiao Yuner, that little B*tch is actually hiding a man in her house, shameless B*tch." After saying that, Li Chuiying continued to groan in pain on the ground. Xiao Yuner's adulterer dared to hit her, I'll definitely teach him a lesson later. The surrounding villagers also had the same thought as Li Chuiying. A man suddenly appeared in Xiao Yuner's house, so she must be secretly keeping him. They didn't expect Xiao Yuner to be so shameless and so horny. In the village, they had never seen a woman like Xiao Yuner, who was even willing to keep a man in her house. The villagers who originally sympathized with Xiao Yuner now felt that no matter what happened, it was God's punishment for Xiao Yuner's debauchery. Chapter 358. Hearing Hu Chunhua's words, Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui dashed towards Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui coldly with disdain in his eyes. When the two of them approached him, he raised his leg and kicked Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui, sending them flying with a kick. Everyone was shocked and opened their mouths. How could he kick them so easily? It was as easy as blowing off dust. The only explanation was that Mu Lianfeng knew kung fu. The villagers had never seen much of the world, and they had never seen anyone who knew kung fu. Therefore, in their opinion, anyone who knew kung fu was extraordinary and not a simple person. After Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui were sent flying, Mu Lianfeng took a few steps forward and kicked Li Chuiying's mouth hard. He had never hit a woman before. It was the way of a gentleman. A man shouldn't hit a woman. However, accidents could happen. When he met a woman who was too cheap, he didn't need to be soft-hearted at all. One of Li Chuiying's teeth was kicked out, and blood kept flowing out. The sound of a pig howling was even more tragic. Mu Lianfeng looked coldly at Li Chuiying, who was lying on the ground in pain. He had no sympathy for him at all. With a slight smile, Mu Lianfeng said to Li Chuiying, who was lying on the ground, "This is what you get for saying the wrong thing. I hope you will remember it next time." You. Hu Chunhua pointed at Mu Lianfeng angrily. This man was too arrogant. Just as Hu Chunhua was about to incite the villagers, Zhao Xinhui suddenly pulled Hu Chunhua back. "Mother, stop it. He is Prince Shizi." Hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, Hu Chunhua was shocked. She looked at Mu Lianfeng carefully and suddenly remembered that she had seen him before in Yang City. Her heart couldn't help trembling. If it was someone else, it would be fine, but ordinary people didn't dare to touch Prince Shizi. "Grandmother, it is Prince Shizi." Zhao Ping also recognized him and said to Hu Chunhua. She stared straight at Mu Lianfeng with admiration in her eyes. She didn't expect Prince Shizi to be so handsome, and his kung fu was extraordinary. Mu was the type that women liked. When the surrounding villagers heard Mu Lianfeng was Prince Shizi, they talked about him even more. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's aura, they didn't doubt him at all. But why did Prince Shizi come to Zhao Yunher's house? Could it be that Prince Shizi had an affair with Zhao Yunher? It didn't make sense at all. Maybe Zhao Yunher was Prince Shizi's mistress. The reason why Zhao Yunher was able to live a good life these days was because of the money given by the prince. The villagers had a lot of wild imaginations, but it was very different from the real situation. Hu Chunhua was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would argue with her. She was so scared that even her legs began to tremble. She walked shakily to Mu Lianfeng and apologized to Mu Lianfeng. "Prince Shizi, please don't argue with an old woman like me. I was blind and didn't recognize you." Mu Lianfeng stared coldly at Hu Chunhua. He knew what this old woman had done and said when he was in the house. He restrained himself because it was inconvenient for him to go out. He was afraid that it would affect Zhao Yunher's reputation. He didn't expect that they would target Daodu. Chapter 359. Since Xiao Yuner wasn't around, he naturally had to protect Daodu. No matter what the reason was, these people shouldn't even think about touching Daodu. Won't bicker with you. Mu Lianfeng retorted, then snorted lightly. He wasn't someone who would let others off so easily. Especially someone like Hu Chunhua, who had crossed his bottom line. He wouldn't let them off so easily. Yes, Your Highness, please don't bicker with an old woman like me. I don't know much. Hu Chunhua immediately cowered when she met Mu Lianfeng's sharp gaze. In the end, she was still afraid that if Mu Lianfeng got angry, she might lose her old life. Zhao Xinhui also took a step forward. Her movements were a little bashful, and her sweet voice rang out. She was pleading for Hu Chunhua in front of Mu Lianfeng. Your Highness, it's all my mother's fault. She's an ignorant old woman from the countryside who offended you. You're a magnanimous person, surely you won't bicker with such a person, right? Although she said that she was pleading for Hu Chunhua, it was more accurate to say that she was trying to make her presence known in front of Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng sized up this mother-daughter pair. One was mean, the other was pretentious. Both of them made him feel disgusted. Daodu, tell me, how should I punish this grandmother of yours? Mu Lianfeng turned around and waved at Little Bun. His voice suddenly became much gentler. Daodu walked in front of Mu Lianfeng and glared fiercely at Hu Chunhua. Just now, Hu Chunhua bullied Xiao Mao and stole his family's things. She was really too hateful. Little Bun bit his lower lip, thinking about how to punish Hu Chunhua. Daddy can't think of anything. Daddy should think of something, Little Bun said to Mu Lianfeng. How could a child think of something so vicious? Mu Lianfeng chuckled, all right then, Daddy will think about it. Since she was so good at scolding people, he would sew her mouth shut. This way, she won't be able to scold anyone anymore. Mu Lianfeng said it as if it was a very simple thing, but it scared Hu Chunhua. She immediately knelt in front of Mu Lianfeng and said, Your Highness, it's my fault for having a cheap mouth. But you can't sew my mouth shut. I'll die if you do that. Then tell me a punishment method. If I'm satisfied with it, I can consider changing it. Mu Lianfeng's sharp voice rang out again. The aura that erupted from his body made it seem like he was the ruler of the world. How about I slap myself a few times? Hu Chunhua asked cautiously. Mu Lianfeng did not react at all, which meant that this method would not work. Hu Chunhua was a little anxious. She couldn't bring herself to slap herself, hence, she looked at Zhao Xinhui for help, hoping that her daughter could help her come up with an idea. However, Zhao Xinhui looked at Mu Lianfeng fawningly and said to Mu Lianfeng, Your Highness, my mother's mouth is so smelly. Why don't you make her eat a pile of sh*t? Let's see if she still dares to spout nonsense in the future. Zhao Xinhui's words caused the surrounding villagers to burst into laughter. Hu Chunhua really had 8 lifetimes of bad luck to have such a daughter. It was the first time she had seen such a scammer. Ha ha ha, interesting. This daughter of old Zhao is really interesting. If my daughter was like this, I would skin her alive. Chapter 360. Who's going to marry his daughter? Each one of them is weirder than the other. Zhao Xinhui has wasted her good looks for nothing. It's as if she's brainless. She's already treating her own mother like this. How can she treat you well after marrying her? Whoever becomes her mother-in-law will be infuriated to death. Ha ha ha, Auntie Zhao is so pitiful. She doted on her daughter for nothing and treated her like a treasure. Great, now she's here to trick her. The surrounding villagers laughed happily. It was rare to see such a joke. Hu Chunhua was dumbfounded when she heard Zhao Xinhui's words. How could her daughter say such things about her? She asked her to give her advice, but in the end, she tricked her even more. Hui Chunhua was furious, but she couldn't vent her anger on Zhao Xinhui. She muttered in Zhao Xinhui's ear, how could you say such things? How could you let your mother eat shit? Hui Chunhua's tone was a little reproachful, but Zhao Xinhui didn't care and said, Mother, what's wrong with eating shit? Didn't Yun feed you some last time? If this method isn't vicious, Master Shitzi won't let you off. Don't tell me you want Master Shitzi to sew your mouth shut or lose an arm or a leg. Hui Chunhua was a little frightened by Zhao Xinhui's words. According to Zhao Xinhui, it was indeed better than having her mouth sewed, limbs broken, and having to eat shit. Mother, I'm doing this for your own good. You're already so old and can't bear the torture, but Master Shitzi definitely won't let you off easily. If Master Shitzi agrees to this method, you'll benefit greatly. Hui Chunhua nodded repeatedly as Zhao Xinhui spoke. She felt that her daughter was right. You're still the smart one. Of course. Zhao Xinhui raised her chin, feeling a little proud. Although she said that to Hui Chunhua, she couldn't help but snort coldly in her heart. Her mother was really stupid. Her mother believed whatever she said. If it were her, she would rather kill her than eat *T, whatever, as long as her mother was willing to eat it, it was fine. After all, she was afraid of death, so she could only come up with this method. This method could help Hui Chunhua solve her problem and please Mu Lianfeng at the same time. As expected, after Mu Lianfeng heard Zhao Xinhui's idea, he also curled his lips and looked at Zhao Xinhui a few more times. Zhao Xinhui lowered her head shyly. That's a good idea. Go ahead and eat. I'll let you go after you've eaten. Mu Lianfeng said with a faint smile on his face. At this moment, other than being angry, he also wanted to tease Hui Chunhua. Your Highness, you really want to eat *T? Hui Chunhua asked with a bitter face. What do you think? But there's no *T here. Hui Chunhua muttered. How could she eat it in front of so many people? If there's no *T, then go ahead and get it. Mu Lianfeng replied indifferently. This. Hui Chunhua frowned and was in a difficult position. When Mu Lianfeng glared at her, she was very afraid. Zhao Ping, go and get some *T here. Zhao Xinhui instructed Zhao Ping, When Zhao Pinger's name was called, she frowned. Her face was filled with unwillingness. Auntie, why me? If it's not you, who else can get it? Hurry up and go, before your Highness gets angry and sews my mother's mouth shut. Zhao Xinhui said fiercely. Chapter 361. Her aunt only knew how to bully her. Zhao Pinger was very displeased. There were so many people in her house. Why was there no one else? She probably thought that she was easy to bully. Seeing that Zhao Pinger was still in a daze, Hui Chunhua urged her, Pinger, your aunt is right. Hurry up and get some. Zhao Pinger curled her lips. Oh. But how am I supposed to scoop the milk? She couldn't grab it with her hands, right? That would be too disgusting. Go to Zhao Yun'er's kitchen and get a bowl. Zhao Xinhui replied. Oh. Zhao Pinger reluctantly went to Zhao Yun'er's kitchen and got a bowl. Then she walked to the back of Zhao Yun'er's house. Before long, she arrived at Zhao Yun'er's latrine. Zhao Pinger looked into Zhao Yun'er's latrine and was almost disgusted. If she took the bowl to scoop the feces, wouldn't her hands be stained with feces? Wouldn't it stink? Zhao Pinger pinched her nose and felt disgusted. She hurriedly rushed to the side and began to retch. It was too much. Why did she have to do such a disgusting thing? Zhao Pinger complained while thinking about how to get feces. Suddenly, an idea came to her. She seemed to have thought of something and rushed out again with the bowl. She found a place where no one could see her. Zhao Ping'er took off her pants and pooped in the bowl. Then she pulled a few leaves and casually wiped her butt. After tying her pants again, Zhao Ping'er's body trembled. She pinched her nose with one hand and picked up the bowl with the other hand. The feces in the bowl were steaming. Zhao Ping'er couldn't help but mutter in her heart. Her grandmother shouldn't blame her. Compared to Zhao Yun'er's poop, which was still filled with maggots in the latrine pit, her poop was definitely much better. Although it was disgusting, thinking about it, she wanted to throw up. She didn't know whether her aunt was stupid or not. How could she come up with such an idea? Her grandmother even agreed. Fortunately, it wasn't her grandmother who ate feces, but her grandmother. Zhao Ping'er suddenly felt a little gloated. She hurriedly ran to the front yard of Zhao Yun'er's house. "Grandma, I got it." Zhao Ping'er ran to Hu Chunhua and handed the bowl with feces in her hand to Hu Chunhua. As soon as Hu Chunhua saw the steaming feces, she knew what Zhao Ping'er had done. So she couldn't help but curse, "You wicked girl, I asked you to get me a little. You actually pooped a big bowl for me. Did you do it on purpose? I usually give you good food, so you pooped such a big bowl all of a sudden. So much feces." Hu Chunhua's mouth was like a laser gun. She really couldn't control herself. If she wanted to eat feces, couldn't she just take a bite? Mu Lianfeng didn't say much. Maybe he would let her go after taking a bite of Mu Lianfeng. So when Zhao Ping'er went to get the feces, she should only get a little bit. Who would expect that Zhao Ping'er was an idiot and pooped a full bowl by herself? How could she eat so much feces? Zhao Ping'er curled her lips. She was unhappy in her heart. It was really a thankless task. Chapter 362. When Zhao Ping'er mentioned Zhao Xinhui immediately became unhappy and said, "Zhao Ping'er, what are you saying? This kind of thing is for someone like you to do. How could you let me do it? Of course, my Hui-er can't do it. Ping'er, you damned girl, I'll deal with you later." Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Ping'er. Zhao Ping knew that she couldn't argue with Hu Chunhua and Zhao Xinhui, so she simply stopped talking. Compared to arguing with Hu Chunhua, it was more enjoyable to watch the show by herself. Hu Chunhua was scolding. Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows with displeasure. "What are you waiting for? Do you want to eat it or not?" Hu Chunhua trembled in fear. She didn't feel anything before, but now she suddenly saw the feces in the bowl. Hu Chunhua was so disgusted that she couldn't eat it. "Lord Air, it's too disgusting. I can't eat it," Hu Chunhua said and turned her head away. She didn't want to look at it, let alone eat it. "Do you mean you regret it?" Mu Lianfeng cast a fierce glance at Hu Chunhua again, which scared her. "Lord Air, I'll eat it. I'll eat it, okay." Hu Chunhua closed her eyes and frowned tightly. She pinched her nose with one hand and moved closer to the bowl. The onlookers almost laughed out loud. They had seen many strange things, but Hu Chunhua was probably the only one who saw someone eat feces in public. It was so interesting. Just when Hu Chunhua's face was getting closer and closer to the bowl, there was a sudden scolding. "Old woman, are you really eating feces? Don't you feel ashamed?" It was Zhao Baoshan's voice. Zhao Baoshan's tone was full of displeasure. Seeing the laughter of the onlookers and what Hu Chunhua was doing, he really wanted to find a hole to hide in. If she ate feces, old Zhao's family would be laughed at by the villagers for the rest of their lives. He had just heard that something happened to Zhao Yun, and other members of old Zhao's family were rushing here, so he went to Lu Fugui's place and asked him to come. He thought that as the village chief, Lu Fugui should be able to talk to the soldiers. Maybe he could help Zhao Yun her. He didn't expect that when he finally managed to get Lu Fugue to come over, he would see Hu Chunhua eating sh*t. Hu Chunhua and the other members of the Zhao family regained their senses after hearing Zhao Baoshan scolding. Old man, Gu Ning said. Hu Chunhua wanted to explain, but Zhao Baoshan stepped forward and directly threw the bowl in Hu Chunhua's hand away. You may be shameless, but I'm not. If you dare to eat feces today, I'll divorce you. Old man. Hu Chunhua wanted to explain again. She didn't want to eat feces, but if she didn't, Prince Shitzi would punish her and she would be killed. She didn't want to die, but she also didn't want her mouth to be sewn shut. After weighing the pros and cons, she made the decision. Without waiting for Hu Chunhua to say anything, Zhao Baoshan vented his anger on the other members of the Zhao family. You guys are really something. Don't you know how to stop her when I'm not around? What are you doing? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at? Old Zhao's family felt aggrieved to be scolded by Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Wenshui said, Father, you can't blame us. We can't stop mother from eating feces. You know my mother's character. That's right, father. Speaking of which, it's more appropriate for you to blame little sister. She was the one who came up with the idea to make mother eat shit. Zhao Wenshi also interjected, pushing all the blame onto Zhao Xinhui. Sorry, I can't control myself. Why did I write these things? By the way, I want to ask for your votes. Normally, there will be 4 chapters. Chapter 363. Zhao Baoshan's resentful gaze landed on Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui was also a little frightened by Zhao Baoshan's glare. He muttered, Father, I'm doing this for mother, aren't I? The heir apparent said to sew her mouth shut, so this is the only way. We can't let mother die, right? Hu Chunhua also hurriedly replied, That's right, old man. You can't blame Hui-er. Hui-er is doing this for my own good. Zhao Baoshan glared at the mother and daughter pair, Hu Chunhua and Zhao Xinhui, as if they had failed to meet his expectations. Their brains were simply filled with sh*t. It would be better to sew their mouths shut than to do such a shameful thing in front of the entire village. Hu Chunhua and Zhao Xinhui were so frightened that they did not dare to say anything. Zhao Baoshan was the most powerful person in the family, so they had to listen to Zhao Baoshan at all times. Zhao Tianshui asked, Father, what should we do now? Zhao Baoshan snorted softly and walked over to Mu Lianfeng. They say that you are the heir apparent, but who can prove that you are the heir apparent? It's not good to treat my wife like this, is it? Mu Lianfeng sized up Zhao Baoshan. This old man was somewhat different. He was smarter than the rest of old Zhao's family. Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping hurriedly said, Father, he is the heir apparent. That's right, master. He is the heir apparent. I've known for a long time. Regardless of whether he was the heir apparent or not, Zhao Baoshan could not admit that Mu Lianfeng was the heir apparent. Otherwise, with his wife's temper, she would be so frightened that she would eat sh*t in front of the villagers. Even he would not be able to stop her. Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping. Shut up, you two. At this moment, Lu Fugue also walked over. Lu Fugue was different from the other villagers. He had more considerations. Like Zhao Baoshan, he questioned Mu Lianfeng's identity. Right now, we don't know if you are the heir, so we can't cause trouble in our Chongfeng village. If the people of our village have offended you in any way, you can settle the score with them in the future, Lu Fugue said. After Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugue said this, the surrounding villagers also began to doubt the authenticity of Mu Lianfeng's identity. It looked like it, but it also didn't. If this wasn't the case, wouldn't old Zhao's family lose even more face? He had been played for a fool. The corners of Mu Lianfeng's mouth curled up slightly. Naturally, he couldn't prove his identity now because he didn't have the token with him. Alright, I'll let her go for now. But remember this matter. I'll ask for it the next time you come. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Hu Chunhua and said. He definitely wouldn't let Hu Chunhua off so easily. Then I'll thank you in advance, young master. Lu Fugui said. Mu Lianfeng snorted lightly. Since you are so righteous, I hope you can handle today's matter properly. This old woman wanted to snatch Yun-er's things and kidnap Dauda to sell. I wonder how the village rules will punish her. When Lu Fugui heard this, he frowned and looked at Hu Chunhua. He also didn't know the truth of the matter. He didn't expect Hu Chunhua to actually do these things. This old woman was too inhumane, wasn't she? It was fine if she didn't help Yun when something happened, but she actually wanted to take advantage of her. Lu Fugui coughed lightly. Of course they should be punished. As the village chief, I won't let them run amok. When Yun-er comes back, let Auntie Zhao come over to apologize. Also, they definitely can't touch Yun-er's things. Otherwise, they will be expelled from the village. Chapter 364. Old Zhao's family members began to panic after hearing Lu Fugui's words. It wasn't easy for them to get something from Zhao Yun-er, but now they had to return it. Their plan to have a meal of refined rice tonight was probably ruined. Hu Chunhua also felt the pinch, but compared to Mu Lianfeng making her eat tea and sew her mouth shut, she could still accept it. Mu Lianfeng took a deep look at Lu Fugui. Since that's the case, please do as you say. Mu Lianfeng then carried Daodu and said to Daodu, let's go, Daodu. Daddy will take you to Yang City. Zhao Yun had been taken away by the soldiers, so there was no point for him to stay at Zhao Yun-er's house. He couldn't be of any help, and waiting would only make him anxious. Daodu naturally wouldn't leave Zhao Yun-er's parents to take care of him. With Hu Chunhua's personality, it would be even more dangerous for Daodu to be taken care of by them. Yes, yes. Daodu nodded. Zhao Baoshan saw that Mu Lianfeng was about to leave with Daodu, so he hurriedly asked, Lord, why are you taking my great-grandson away? Mu Lianfeng smiled sarcastically. So old Zhao's family also acknowledges Daodu's identity. Ah. Zhao Baoshan knew what Mu Lianfeng meant, and he looked a little ashamed. Mu Lianfeng continued, he's my son, so of course I'm taking him away. When Yun-er comes back, I'll send Daodu back. Mu Lianfeng left with Daodu, leaving old Zhao's family members behind in shock. Many of the villagers were curious and gossipy. Is this man really Daodu's father? They look alike. The two of them look so alike. That's right. It's obvious that they are father and son. Looks like Yun-er and this man gave birth to Daodu. Now, he's come knocking on our door. Sigh, Yun-er found a man and gave birth to a child before she even got married. Now, she even brought a man home directly. How could she do such a thing? She's really not afraid of being embarrassed. What can we do? However, if this person was the heir apparent, then wouldn't Yun-er be living a happy life? Are you going to be the princess consort in the future? I don't think that man is the crown prince. How could the crown prince be dressed so shabbily? Their clothes aren't much better than ours. Moreover, he's staying in Yun-er's shabby room. Shouldn't he be bringing Yun-er to the heir manor to enjoy life? The villagers were talking about it. Others didn't know, but Zhao Ping'er and Zhao Xinhui clearly knew that Mu Lianfeng was indeed the crown prince. They didn't know why Mu Lianfeng stayed in Zhao Yun'er's room, but the clothes he wore at that time weren't simple. Hu Chunhua opened her mouth. Is Daodu really the crown prince's son? Seeing the shock on Hu Chunhua's face, Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugui exchanged a glance and thought of what had happened 3 years ago. The person who bought Zhao Yuner at that time was a big shot. Could it be that the crown prince was the crown prince? Zhao Xinhui snorted softly. Mother, what are you thinking about? Why are you thinking about these impossible things? Do you know who the crown prince is? How could he fall in love with Zhao Yuner? He can have any woman he wants. Even if he wanted to find a woman, she was prettier than Zhao Yuner. The crown prince should be interested in her, right? Hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, Wu Chunhua felt that it made sense. Zhao Yuner was just a little girl from the countryside. How could she be a match for the crown prince? Chapter 365. Maybe His Highness doesn't have any children, so he wants to adopt Daodu as his son because he's so cute, Zhao Xinhui replied. Old Zhao's family thought for a while and agreed that it was indeed possible. All right, let's not talk about this anymore. Hurry up and go home. Don't embarrass yourselves here. Zhao Baoshan urged. In fact, he was afraid that the more these people talked about it, the easier it would be for them to find out what they had done in the past. At that time, he couldn't afford to be embarrassed. Lu Fugue also urged the onlooking villagers to leave. For a moment, Zhao Yun-er's house was quiet again. Zhao Yun-er followed the soldiers to Yang City and was directly sent to prison. Official Gidge, I still don't know what's going on. Am I going to stay here tonight? Zhao Yun couldn't help but ask. She felt that it was a little strange that she was caught. In the 21st century, people would be arrested and explained clearly to the people who were arrested. However, in the ancient times, the government wouldn't explain so much to the people who were arrested. Your case will be heard by our county magistrate in 2 days. You'll know then, the constable replied. But, all right, there's no need to ask so many questions. Miss, you can go in now. The constable pushed Zhao Yun-er in front of a prison cell. Hey, officer, don't go. Zhao Yun-er called the constable again. Since the other party didn't want to tell her, she had to use some method. Thus, she handed over the last tael of silver she had on her to the constable and pleaded, Official Gidge, use this money to buy some tea later. Can you tell me what crime I committed? It won't be a big deal even if I tell you, right? I won't cause trouble. I just want to know. Otherwise, I won't be so nervous if I don't know. The constable met Zhao Yun-er's pleading eyes and looked at the silver in Zhao Yun-er's hand. He thought that Zhao Yun-er was a pitiful woman. She was right, so he took the silver from Zhao Yun-er's hand and said to Zhao Yun-er. Someone in the Fuling restaurant was poisoned to death after eating the dish called bullfrog. The innkeeper said that he got the ingredients from you. Right now, the innkeeper and the chef of the Fuling restaurant are in jail. They're waiting for their arraignment in 2 days. Our county magistrate will get to the bottom of this. If young Miss is innocent, the county magistrate will definitely give young Miss justice. After the constable finished speaking, he left. Zhao Yun-er finally figured out what was going on. There was something wrong with the bullfrog in restaurant. She knew whether there was anything wrong with the bullfrog she sent. It wasn't poisonous, so nothing would happen no matter how much she ate. Moreover, every time she sent the food over, Zhao Yun would carefully check to make sure there was no toad mixed in. She suddenly thought of Qin Hailan. That woman directly caught the toad and probably mixed it in with the bullfrog and gave it to Sun Zhongquan. Sun Zhongquan didn't admit it in front of her, but he definitely received the bullfrog from Qin Hailan in private. Zhao Yun-er wasn't angry that Sun Zhongquan received the food from Qin Hailan. She was angry that Sun Zhongquan actually pushed the blame to her after the incident. The case hadn't been heard yet, so she couldn't defend herself now. She hoped that the county magistrate would give her a chance to defend herself when the case was heard in 2 days. Chapter 366. Xiao Yun couldn't help but frown. Wasn't this smell a little too unpleasant? The environment in this ancient prison really couldn't be compared to the one in the 21st century. How was this a place for people to stay? Even a pigsty wasn't this dirty. She still had to stay in this place for 2 more days. Xiao Yun felt uncomfortable just thinking about it, and felt uncomfortable all over. There were already a few women in the cell where Xiao Yun was, and they were all dirty all over. Seeing Xiao Yun come over, they said to Xiao Yun, "Miss, just find a place to sit down." These people's attitude towards Xiao Yun was still quite amiable, which made Xiao Yun feel somewhat gratified. One had to know that in the 21st century, newcomers were easily bullied in prison. Xiao Yun smiled at these women and looked into the prison to find a place to sit down. Everywhere was dirty, and there wasn't a clean place. "Miss, since you're here, don't dislike this and that. Hurry up and sit down," a woman persuaded. When they first came in, they also thought it was too dirty. Later, they found that there was no other way. They couldn't keep standing. Xiao Yun was conflicted in her heart for a moment, but finally accepted it. So she found a place to sit down by the corner. But after sitting for a while, she felt something drilling under her butt, and then it made a squeaking sound. Xiao Yun jumped up in fright and screamed. She found a fat black rat scurrying out. It was too disgusting. The others in the prison felt that Xiao Yun was making a fuss over nothing. They persuaded her, "Miss, don't be afraid. There are many rats in this cell. You'll be fine once you get used to it." Xiao Yun felt that there was a mouthful of blood in her chest, and she almost spat out a mouthful of blood. How was this comforting? After saying it, she was even more afraid. Originally, she thought that if it was a little dirty and smelly, she could endure it in the cell for 2 days. Now that she saw these rats, how could she bear it? What if she was bitten by a rat when she fell asleep? Xiao Yun had goosebumps when she imagined the scene of the mice gathering together. "Miss, please sit with us. We have fewer rats here." A woman greeted Xiao Yun out of kindness. The woman said that there were fewer rats, not that there were no rats. Xiao Yun was still scared witless. Xiao Yun forced a smile and said, "Thank you, Auntie. I think I'll just stand." The woman did not continue to persuade her. She knew that when Xiao Yun was tired from standing, she would sit down obediently. Xiao Yun leaned against the wooden bars. Facing the pitch-black prison cell, she felt a trace of fear for the first time. After standing for an hour or 2, Xiao Yun's legs were numb and uncomfortable. If she could hold on for 1 night, her legs would probably be crippled. Leaning against the wooden bars, Xiao Yun was tired and scared, but no one could save her at this time. "Xiao Yun, come out." A jailer walked over and said to Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun was a little curious. She had only been here for 2 hours. Why was she released so soon? It should be night now. According to the news, there shouldn't be any trial. What was going on? "Come out quickly, what are you waiting for?" The jailer urged again. "Oh," Xiao Yun responded. Chapter 367. Walking out of the cell, Xiao Yun followed the jailer. She didn't know where the jailer was taking her. Would she be subjected to those ancient punishments and then beaten to the point of hovering between life and death? Through this method, she would be tortured into confessing that she had something to do with the poisoning of the bullfrog in the restaurant. Xiao Yun had watched many TV dramas, so she was familiar with some ancient punishments. Once she pictured the scene in her mind, her legs couldn't help trembling. In addition, she had stood for a long time in the past 2 days, so her legs were already numb and weak. It was very difficult for her to walk. Sir, can you tell me what I'm going to do? Asked Zhao Yuner in a trembling voice. What are you afraid of? The jailer heard the trembling in Zhao Yuner's voice, so he replied with a smile. Zhao Yuner curled her lips. Sir, how can I not be afraid? What if you brand me with a red-hot iron later, whip me, and pinch my fingers with a wooden stick? Zhao Yuner told the jailer all the punishments she could think of. The more she said, the more scared she became. How could the ancient punishments be used? They would definitely make people suffer more than they would if they were alive. Once Zhao Yuner thought of it, she couldn't help trembling in fear. She was a normal person after all, and she also had things that she was afraid of. Seeing Zhao Yuner talking a lot, the jailer couldn't help laughing. Miss, I think you're thinking too much. Ha! What do you mean by that? Aren't these the torture methods in your prison? The jailer twitched the corner of his mouth. The punishments in our prison are much scarier than what you've just said. What? Hearing that, Zhao Yuner was even more scared. Seeing Zhao Yuner's pale face, the jailer hurriedly explained, Who told you that you're going to be punished? Isn't it? No, miss, you're lucky. They're going to let you go. Zhao Yuner was puzzled. Little brother, why did you let me go? Could it be that my innocence has been proven? The jailer had been working in prison for so many years, but he had never seen a woman like Zhao Yuner. He didn't feel annoyed at all. Instead, he felt that Zhao Yuner was very interesting. The jailer shook his head. No, miss, it's Lord Shitzi who wants to let you go, so you don't have to stay in prison tonight. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's name, Mu Lianfeng was surprised. She didn't expect Mu Lianfeng to come to save her so soon. But, am I going out just like that? The jailer felt that Zhao Yun had a lot of questions, but he still patiently explained, What is the identity of the heir? How could we, the government, not give them face when they asked for it? But your case still has to be tried. Lord Shitzi promises that he will send you here on the day of the trial. Zhao Yuner nodded. So that's how it is. The purpose of detention was to prevent criminals from escaping in advance. Since they could guarantee that they would be present during the trial, it didn't matter whether they were in the prison or in the Shitzi's residence. The jailer couldn't help but look Zhao Yuner up and down. Miss, you look quite ordinary. I didn't expect you to be related to Lord Shitzi. You're really something. Zhao Yuner smiled awkwardly. I just happened to help Lord Shitzi with a small favor. Chapter 368. Oh, okay. Zhao Yun nodded. Just as she was about to quicken her pace, her legs started to hurt even more. She had been standing there for too long and had to start walking before she could rest. Ouch! Zhao Yun walked and walked, suddenly she fell down and fell to the ground. The jailer hurriedly asked, Miss, are you all right? Zhao Yun shook her head and hammered her legs. I'm fine. It's just that my legs don't listen to me and I can't walk properly. But we can't let the crown prince wait for too long. Miss, come, let me help you. The jailer said as he came over to help Zhao Yun. Thank you, brother. You're welcome. The jailer replied. In fact, he was usually not so patient with prisoners. Today, he had a good impression of Zhao Yun. Moreover, Zhao Yun was the crown prince's woman, so he was a little more polite. The jailer walked Zhao Yun to the door of the prison. Mu Lianfeng was standing outside the door. After Mu Lianfeng returned to the crown prince's residence, he changed into a new set of clothes. The purple brocade robe enhanced his temperament. That handsome appearance could not help but attract Zhao Yun's attention. This man was really a demon. When he was in her house, his clothes were a little tattered and she did not feel much. Now that he had changed into a new set of clothes, his original handsomeness and temperament appeared again. Sure enough, it was better for Mu Lianfeng to stay in Yang City. What had she done to him in her house? A peerless handsome man was holed up in her shabby thatched hut. No matter how handsome he was, he would be overshadowed. When Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yun, he was a little excited. But when he saw the jailer holding Zhao Yun's arm, his eyes immediately darkened. Mu Lianfeng took a step forward and pushed the jailer away from Zhao Yun. The prison guard still had not figured out what had happened. He lay on the ground with a confused look on his face. Zhao Yun was also stunned. Why did Mu Lianfeng bully people? Before Zhao Yun and the jailer could figure out what had happened, Mu Lianfeng's stern voice sounded, "What did you do to Yun? Is this an abuse of power? Tell me." The jailer was so frightened by Mu Lianfeng's cold voice that he trembled. He knelt on the ground and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Your Highness, you've wronged me. I really didn't do that. We didn't abuse the law." Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng's angry face. It turned out that he cared about her and was afraid that she would be wronged. She felt a little happy in her heart. "Young Master Mu, they really didn't torture me. You misunderstood." Zhao Yun helped the prison guard to explain. "Then you..." Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun and frowned. "I've been standing in the prison for a long time, so my legs hurt so much that I can't walk properly. It's all thanks to this little brother's help that I can walk out." Seeing that Zhao Yun was helping him to explain, the prison guard also cast a grateful look at Zhao Yun. Mu Lianfeng was silent for a moment. Then, he suddenly took a step forward and directly carried Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's feet left the ground in an instant. In a panic, she hugged Mu Lianfeng and pressed her face against Mu Lianfeng's chest. "Young Master Mu," Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng in surprise. She didn't know what Mu Lianfeng meant. "Since your legs can't move, I'll carry you," Mu Lianfeng explained. There was a hint of nervousness in his tone. Chapter 369. Zhao Yun was a little worried about the wound on Mu Lianfeng's arm. It was still in the process of forming a scab. If he used too much strength, it would probably tear again. Wouldn't that hurt to death? It wasn't like she couldn't walk with her legs. Mu Lianfeng could support her. Being held in his arms. Zhao Yun felt a little strange. There was also an ambiguous atmosphere between her and Mu Lianfeng. "My wound is fine now. You don't have to worry," Mu Lianfeng's pleasant voice whispered into Zhao Yun's ear. His warm breath instantly blew into Zhao Yun's ear. Zhao Yun's face also turned red. "Young Master Mu, you should put me down. I can walk on my own." Zhao Yun couldn't help but struggle a few times. She patted Mu Lianfeng's shoulder. If Mu Lianfeng continued to hold her, wouldn't she be embarrassed to death? Just as Zhao Yun was struggling, Mu Lianfeng grabbed Zhao Yun's hand and whispered into Zhao Yun's ear, "Don't move." Mu Lianfeng's tone was commanding. Zhao Yun saw that he was still holding her tightly. She was afraid that she would continue to move. Mu Lianfeng was fine at first, but in the end, because of her, she pulled on his wound instead. Mu Lianfeng's body had a faint fresh scent. It smelled very good. Zhao Yun couldn't help but swallow her saliva. The feeling of being hugged by Mu Lianfeng was very strange. This man's embrace was really big. His solid chest seemed to be able to give her something to lean on. If Mu Lianfeng hadn't come today, she might have to stay in prison for 2 days. How hopeless would that be? Every time she was in trouble, he was by her side and helped her in time. She had lived for more than 20 years in her previous life, but she had never met someone who treated her like this. "Young Master Mu, why are you so good to me?" Xiao Yun couldn't help but ask. Mu Lianfeng's body trembled slightly. Because Miss Yuner also saved me. It's only right that I do this for you. Xiao Yuner smiled bitterly. Is that the only reason? She even thought that it was an unrequited love. Of course not. Mu Lianfeng replied. Xiao Yun's heart, which had sunk down, suddenly recovered a lot. Xiao Yuner waited expectantly for Mu Lianfeng's answer. She wanted to hear what Mu Lianfeng had to say. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. Xiao Yuner looked up and happened to see his good-looking side profile. He was so handsome that it was a mess. Miss Yuner, you are very special. You have an inexplicable attraction to me, so I can't help but want to protect you. Mu Lianfeng answered honestly. Xiao Yuner's heart trembled. Was Mu Lianfeng confessing? If it wasn't for the huge gap between the two of them, Xiao Yuner really wanted to be together with Mu Lianfeng. The atmosphere between the two of them became even more ambiguous. Mu Lianfeng tactfully kept his mouth shut when Xiao Yuner didn't say anything. If Xiao Yuner didn't have any feelings for him, the more he said, the harder it would be to get along with her in the future. After a while, Mu Lianfeng carried her into the carriage. The carriage belonged to the heir apparent's residence. They had specially come to pick up Xiao Yuner. Xiao Yuner couldn't help but ask, Young Master Mu, am I really going to stay at the heir apparent's residence tonight? Mu Lianfeng nodded. Yes, where else would Miss Yuner go? Chapter 370. It's okay, it's no trouble. Mu Lianfeng smiled faintly. Then, okay. It was good that it was not troublesome. If it was troublesome, Mu Lianfeng could just get her a room in the inn. Young Master Mu, thank you for coming back to help me get out of prison. Did you go back to Yang City alone? Did you hand Daodu over to my parents? She was most worried about Daodu. Such a young child could not do without her taking care of him. Daodu was probably worried and afraid now, right? Speaking of Xiao Yun's parents, Mu Lianfeng's expression was a little ugly. He did not want to mention those people from old Zhao's family. If he handed Daodu over to Xiao Yun's parents, who knew what would happen? However, Mu Lianfeng did not want to tell Xiao Yun about what old Zhao's family had done after Xiao Yun left. He was afraid that Xiao Yun would be angered to death if she heard about it. He would naturally deal with what old Zhao's family had done later. I've brought Daodu back. He's now resting in the Shizi's residence. He said that he would wait for you to go back for dinner. Xiao Yun nodded. Young Master Mu, thank you. I've troubled you with Daodu's matter. Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, You're welcome. I've also troubled Yun a lot during this period of time. These are all things that I should do. As soon as Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, the carriage jolted, and the two people in the carriage swayed. Xiao Yun suddenly fell towards Mu Lianfeng. Their faces were very close, and Xiao Yun's lips brushed across Mu Lianfeng's cheek. Their eyes met, and Xiao Yun's heart could not help but skip a beat. She quickly avoided Mu Lianfeng's body. However, Mu Lianfeng did not give her the chance. Mu Lianfeng grabbed Xiao Yun's hand and kissed her on the lips. Mu Lianfeng's lips lingered on Xiao Yun's lips for a while, savoring the aftertaste. Xiao Yun was a little overwhelmed by this sudden incident. The sensation on her lips was exceptionally clear. She was stunned and her mind went blank for a moment. Heavens! Who could tell her what was going on? Was she kissed by Mu Lianfeng? After a few seconds, Xiao Yun confirmed that it was true. Mu Lianfeng really kissed her. Xiao Yun wanted to struggle, but Mu Lianfeng immediately reached out another hand and restrained the back of her head. Otherwise, Xiao Yun would have had a chance to struggle. After Mu Lianfeng kissed for about 2 to 3 minutes, he slowly let go of Xiao Yun. Zhao Yun'er's entire face was as red as a monkey's butt. After being suddenly released, she could not help but gasp for breath and take in large mouthfuls of fresh air. Crazy, crazy, did Mu Lianfeng know what he was doing? Why was he so impulsive? Mu Lianfeng licked the corners of his mouth as if he was savoring the aftertaste. He was also hot-headed just now and could not help but kiss Zhao Yun'er. After he reacted, he realized what he had done. Young Master Mu, you, Zhao Yun'er did not know what to say for a moment. Should she blame Mu Lianfeng? Miss Yun'er, I was impulsive. I will take responsibility for you. Before Zhao Yun'er could question him, Mu Lianfeng spoke. This was the first time he kissed a woman and could not control his inner impulse to kiss her. Since it had already happened, as a man, he naturally had to bear the consequences. Ah. Zhao Yun'er was slightly stunned. Chapter 371. Miss Yun'er, since I've kissed you, I'll take responsibility for you. Men and women shouldn't touch each other, so we're not husband and wife. We shouldn't be so intimate. Yun'er. Shall I marry you? This was the second time Mu Lianfeng had said this. The last time, he was half joking. Zhao Yun'er didn't know if Mu Lianfeng was serious or what he meant. Now that Mu Lianfeng said it in an extremely serious manner, Zhao Yun'er knew that Mu Lianfeng wasn't joking. He was a mature adult. Naturally, he knew the consequences of saying this and what it meant. Zhao Yun'er's lips twitched. She was shocked by Mu Lianfeng's words. Young Master Mu, aren't you being too responsible? Our matter isn't at the stage of marriage yet. Wasn't it just a kiss? As a person from the 21st century, she could still see things quite clearly. In the 21st century, it was very normal for couples to kiss. If they got married with a kiss, who knew how many couples would get together because of this? Miss Yun'er, do you not want to marry me? Mu Lianfeng looked sad. Zhao Yun'er's lips twitched. How could she mean that? He was really overthinking. No. Young Master Mu, I just don't think it's necessary. Zhao Yun'er coughed lightly, feeling a little awkward. Her face was burning. She hadn't digested Mu Lianfeng's kiss yet. Sure enough, a man and a woman alone couldn't be in the same room. Perhaps something could happen between the two of them even if they didn't have anything to do with each other. Zhao Yun'er lowered her head shyly. In Mu Lianfeng's eyes, it was very pleasant. Mu Lianfeng's throat moved. He had never been so moved by a woman before. Thus, he held Zhao Yun'er's hand and said, Yun'er, if I say that I like you, will you marry me? Zhao Yun'er was stunned. Was this a proposal? Perhaps Mu Lianfeng had deliberately kissed her just now to find an excuse to marry her. Meeting Mu Lianfeng's burning gaze, Zhao Yun'er felt a little breathless and wanted to escape. Yun'er, marry me. I'll take good care of you and Daodu. Mu Lianfeng's voice rang in Zhao Yun'er's ears again. This sentence was like a promise. There was such a man behind her that she could rely on. No matter how strong Zhao Yun'er was, she was still a woman. Mu Lianfeng's words touched her. If she rejected him, Mu Lianfeng would probably be disappointed. Moreover, she didn't want to refuse, young Master Mu. If I marry you, won't your parents object? Zhao Yun'er asked. She was worried that the distance between them was too great. Those people in the heir presumptive's residence wouldn't easily agree to her marriage with Mu Lianfeng. She didn't want to be with Mu Lianfeng. It was just a casual remark. It couldn't even be put on the table. Leave this matter to me. I'll take care of it. Mu Lianfeng gave her a promise. Zhao Yun'er bit her lower lip and continued, Young Master Mu, I have my own requirements for choosing a husband. My husband can only marry me and only me alone for the rest of his life. If you can't do it, don't mention this matter again. In ancient times, it was normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. For someone of Mu Lianfeng's status, it was even more impossible for him to only have one woman. However, she was a woman in the 21st century. She couldn't share her husband with another woman. No matter how much she liked Mu Lianfeng, if he had 3 wives and 4 concubines, she would stay far away. Chapter 372. Other than Zhao Yun, he felt that there shouldn't be any other woman who could make him feel special and walk into his heart. Mu Lianfeng really answered straightforwardly. Then about our marriage, we'll talk about it after you've settled it. Zhao Yun didn't know how to face Mu Lianfeng for a moment. Were the two of them officially in a relationship? Trust me, Yun. Mu Lianfeng's hand touched Zhao Yun's face. Looking at Zhao Yun's somewhat haggard appearance, he felt a little heartache. In the future, call me Feng, or Brother Feng. After we get married, call me husband. Mu Lianfeng reminded her. This sentence made Zhao Yun even more embarrassed. Feng. Brother Feng. She couldn't really say it. It was more comfortable to call him Young Master Mu, but calling him Young Master Mu seemed too distant. Zhao Yun responded softly. The carriage finally arrived at the Crown Prince's residence and stopped in front of the Crown Prince's residence. It was also Zhao Yun's first time seeing it. The entire courtyard was very big. It was probably the largest residence in the entire Yang city, just like the gardens Zhao Yun saw in the 21st century. The Air Manor's main door was vermilion red and extremely tall. There was a pair of lions at the door, looking mighty and domineering. From the aura of the main door, one could tell that this wasn't an ordinary residence. Yun, let me help you down, Mu Lianfeng said and considerately helped Zhao Yun down from the carriage. Your house is so big, Zhao Yun sighed. Quickly go in. Okay. The two of them had just entered the door and walked to the hall when they saw Helianchen walking forward. Ah, Feng, I heard that you were back, so I hurried over to look for you. Look at how many days you've been missing. I was so worried. I thought something had happened to you, so I searched everywhere but couldn't find you. And there's no news of you at all. Helianchen's brows were tightly furrowed as he spoke. It was obvious that he was really worried about Mu Lianfeng's situation. Actually, it wasn't just Helianchen. During this period of time, everyone in the Air Manor had been searching everywhere for information. After such a long time, they still hadn't found Mu Lianfeng and had already reported it to the capital. They originally thought that the emperor would order a nationwide search, but Mu Lianfeng suddenly returned to the Air Manor. Wouldn't it be better if he came back now? Mu Lianfeng replied calmly, without much emotion in his voice. Helianchen was a little angry when he saw Mu Lianfeng's calm expression. He was so worried about him, how could he act as if nothing had happened? Feng, where have you been all this time? Since he was fine, why didn't he send a message back? You caused all of us to be worried about you. It was really crazy. Helianchen couldn't help but complain. Looking at Helianchen's angry appearance, Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, How come I didn't know that you were so concerned about me in the past? Zhao Yun was a little embarrassed when she heard this from the side. Why did she feel that there was a strong sense of camaraderie between these two people? The corner of Helianchen's mouth twitched and he glared at Mu Lianfeng. Of course I'm concerned about you, you heartless fellow. Haha, Mu Lianfeng laughed and said, the situation was special at that time. I was also seriously injured and was recuperating. I didn't dare to leak my information out, otherwise, something unexpected might happen again. Chapter 373. Xiao Yun couldn't help but laugh at Helian Chen's bashfulness. Why did she feel that Helian Chen was like a girl when she looked at him? It felt like a little wife blaming her husband. If Mu Lianfeng married her, would Helian Chen really not be angry? Would he be jealous of her? She did not want to fight with a man for another man. She hoped that she would not think too much. Mu Lianfeng snorted and sucked in a breath of cold air. Helian Chen and Xiao Yun hurriedly asked, "Feng, what's wrong? Are you okay? Mu Lianfeng, are you okay?" Mu Lianfeng frowned and looked like he was in pain. "My chest hurts." Xiao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng's chest was still injured. Helian Chen's punch should not have been light. He must have hit Mu Lianfeng's old wound. "Are there any herbs here? Let me bandage it for you quickly. The old wound on your chest should have torn. You have to be careful next time," Xiao Yun said. Helian Chen was also a little panicked. If he knew that his punch had injured Mu Lianfeng, he would not have hit him. "Yes, yes, yes. Bandage it quickly." Helian Chen looked at Xiao Yun after he finished speaking. He had been paying attention to Mu Lianfeng and did not notice that Xiao Yun had also returned with Mu Lianfeng. Helian Chen was stunned. He pointed at Xiao Yun and said, "Why is Miss Yun here too?" Xiao Yun nodded at Mu Lianfeng. "This time, I was being hunted down. It was all thanks to Yun, who saved me. I have also been recuperating at Yun's house during this period. But I met Miss Yun earlier. Why didn't she say anything? You were at her place. I was the one who told Yun not to say anything. The more people who know, the more risk there is." Helian Chen rolled his eyes at Mu Lianfeng. He increasingly felt that Mu Lianfeng was too heartless. "You don't even believe me. That's too hurtful." Helian Chen's angry expression was a little cute. Mu Lianfeng smiled. "It's my fault, okay? It's your fault to begin with." Xiao Yun listened to the two people bickering at the side. The gay feeling was getting stronger and stronger. She couldn't listen to it anymore. She could not help but laugh and say, "Let's go apply the medicine first. We'll talk about the other things later." No matter how dissatisfied Helian Chen was, it was still more important to treat Mu Lianfeng's injuries. There were specialized physicians in the air manor. They quickly bandaged the wound on Mu Lianfeng's chest. "Miss Yun thank you so much. Thank you for saving Feng and taking care of him for such a long time," Helian Chen said gratefully to Xiao Yun, as if Xiao Yun had saved his wife. "It's all right, young Master Helian is too polite. It's not a small matter that you saved Feng. Later, the entire air manor will definitely run over to thank you, especially Madame Mu. Especially old Madame Mu." Helian Chen had just finished speaking when the sound of footsteps came from outside the door. "Feng are you all right?" It was the voice of an old woman. Her tone was filled with deep concern. Then, they saw an old woman in her 60s or 70s walk in. Xiao Yun sized up the old woman who walked over. She was dressed in luxurious clothes and wore precious jewelry. One look and she knew that she was a rich madam. Although the old woman was a little old, she still had a temperament. She should have been a great beauty when she was young. This old woman should be the Madame Mu that Helian Chen mentioned. Chapter 374. Grandma. Mu Lianfeng greeted old Madame Mu affectionately when he saw her. Old Madame Mu was probably the most anxious person when he was not around these past few days. Mu Lianfeng noticed that old Madame Mu seemed to have become more haggard. There were a few strands of white hair on her temples. "Feng, you're finally back. If you didn't come back, I'm afraid that I wouldn't be able to live on." Old Madame Mu took out a handkerchief and wiped the corners of her eyes. Shitzi Manor had only one heir. If anything happened to Mu Lianfeng, Shitzi Manor would have no descendants. Grandma, I'm back, right? Don't worry. Mu Lianfeng comforted her. Old Madame Mu nodded while sobbing, yes, it's good that you're back. It's good that my phone is back. Old Madam, you have to thank Miss Yun for Feng's safe return. Helianchen pointed at Zhao Yun and quickly helped Zhao Yun to claim the credit. Old Madame Mu's attention then fell on Zhao Yun. She sized up Zhao Yun and saw Zhao Yun's clothes. She guessed that Zhao Yun was a little girl from the countryside. But regardless of Zhao Yun's identity, she should be grateful since Zhao Yun saved Mu Lianfeng. So she said to Zhao Yun, thank you, miss. I'll ask the servants to give you 500 taels of silver as thanks. Tomorrow, I'll ask the servants to send you back. If you have any other requests, such as food, drinks, clothes and necessities, just let me know. I'll ask the servants to buy them all. Old Madame Mu's way of thanking people was to use money. But she felt that Zhao Yun's clothes were shabby and her family should be poor. She should lack these things the most. Zhao Yun felt uncomfortable when she heard that. What did old Madame Mu mean? She saved Mu Lianfeng because Mu Lianfeng had helped her before, not because of money. A stiff smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. Thank you, old madam, but you don't have to give these things to Yun'er. Although Yun'er saved young Master Mu also helped me a lot before. Old Madame Mu was stunned. She frowned and said, Miss, are you not satisfied with my arrangement? If you have any requests, feel free to let me know. My residence will definitely satisfy you. Zhao Yun'er quickly waved her hand. Old madam, you misunderstood me. I don't need any reward. Old Madame Mu couldn't help but take a few more glances at Zhao Yun. She still did not understand this woman. Why didn't he want the money? Then what did she want? What was she planning? Old Madame Mu didn't believe that Zhao Yun'er didn't want to gain any benefits. She had seen many scheming women. In her opinion, Zhao Yun'er must want to gain more benefits. Miss, although you saved my grandson, you can't go too far. We can give you the money, but don't even think about having any ideas about my grandson. Don't think about being his concubine. Even if we have a maid in the same room, it's not something a country girl can do. Old Madame Mu said to Zhao Yun'er. She told her the guess in her heart. She looked at Zhao Yun'er with disgust. Zhao Yun'er was really angered by old Madame Mu's words this time. What was this old woman talking about? Chapter 375. Old Madam, you're thinking too much. I didn't mean that, Zhao Yun'er said. You didn't mean that. Then why don't you want the money from the Shitzi mansion? Don't tell me you really don't want anything after saving my grandson. Old Madame Mu asked in disbelief. Zhao Yun'er twitched the corner of her mouth. She felt that it was a little ironic. She had not married Mu Lianfeng yet, but old Madame Mu looked down on her and treated her like this. If Mu Lianfeng really married her, old Madame Mu Lianfeng would make a scene. She knew that in this era, there was a big gap between the two people's status, but she did not expect it to be like this. Could Mu Lianfeng really solve it? She could already foresee that Mu Lianfeng would face a lot of difficult problems if he married her. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Yun'er and hurriedly said, Grandma, how can you say that about Yun'er? She doesn't want anything from me. Isn't it humiliating to give her money directly? When old Madame Mu heard Mu Lianfeng's angry tone, she quickly said, Phone her. Just by looking at this girl, you can tell that she doesn't come from a good family. Giving her money is for her to improve her life and help her. How did it become humiliating? Grandma, although Yun'er's family background is not good, she is also proud. She will definitely not accept money from others. Money is a good thing, but it is not worth mentioning to some people. It's not right for you to take money directly like this. Look, Yun didn't accept it, right? Since she didn't accept it, why did you say those aggressive words and make her sad? Who would thank someone in this way? Mu Lianfeng stood on Zhao Yun's side and scolded old Madame Mu. Zhao Yun wanted to say that it was not that she did not care about money. She was working hard to do business now just to earn more money and live a good life with Daodu. She refused not because of her pride, but because she did not think that Mu Lianfeng owed her a favor. On the contrary, Mu Lianfeng helped her a little more. This time, if it were not for Mu Lianfeng, she was afraid that she would still be in the dark and dirty prison in fear. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, old Madame Mu realized that her words were harsh. But that was what she thought. Her grandson was angry. She could not continue to lose her temper in front of Zhao Yun. Anyway, as long as she was here, Zhao Yun wouldn't have any bad thoughts about her grandson. Okay. It's Grandma's fault. Grandma shouldn't have said that. But she saved you. Tell me, how should I repay her? You can't really do nothing, right? Old Madame Mu asked. She wanted to repay Zhao Yun for saving Mu Lianfeng once and for all. In this way, Zhao Yun would not have the chance to pester Mu Lianfeng. Without waiting for Mu Lianfeng's reply, Zhao Yun said, "Old Madam, there's really no need. It's all thanks to young Master Mu's help that I got into trouble this time. We're even now, so there's no need to repay him." Old Madame Mu looked at Mu Lianfeng in confusion. Mu Lianfeng then told her about Zhao Yun's situation. After hearing it, old Madame Mu was relieved. She was wondering why Zhao Yun did not want her money. So this was the reason. If Shitzi Mansion helped her this time, it could be considered that they had repaid Zhao Yun's kindness. Chapter 376. Mu Lianfeng nodded faintly and responded. Zhao Yun could not help but feel bitter when she saw the 180-degree change in old Madame Mu's attitude. It was not that she did not understand old Madame Mu's thoughts. But now that she had confirmed that she did not want to rely on Mu Lianfeng, she was happy. "Miss Yun, then you should stay in the Shitzi Mansion for the next 2 days. I will ask the servants to take good care of you. I guarantee that you will eat and drink well," old Madame Mu said with a smile. Zhao Yun did not want to argue with old Madame Mu about her sudden change in attitude. She was even more lazy to argue with old Madame Mu. So she nodded and said, "Thank you, old madam. You're welcome. This is what I should do. Miss Yun saved our phone. The entire Shitzi Mansion is grateful. If you need any help, you can ask." "Thank you, old madam." As soon as Zhao Yun finished speaking, she heard Daodu's voice outside the room. "Mother." When Mu Lianfeng went to the prison, he asked the servants to take care of Daodu. At first, when Mu Lianfeng came back with Daodu, Daodu called Mu Lianfeng father. The servants thought that Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's illegitimate son. But they thought that it was impossible. If Mu Lianfeng had a son, then he would be the Shitzi Mansion's little Shitzi. Old Madam would be overjoyed if she knew. She would not let the Shitzi Mansion's child wander outside. Maybe there was another reason. Old Madame Mu also liked children. When she heard Daodu's voice, her eyes lit up. Hearing Daodu's soft voice, she knew that he was a cute little guy. "Mother." Daodu saw Zhao Yun when he entered the room and rushed to Zhao Yun. She burrowed into Zhao Yun's arms. After all, he was only a 3-year-old child. He simply couldn't leave his mother. Daodu was also worried that Zhao Yun had been away for such a long time. After returning to Zhao Yun's embrace, Daodu hugged Zhao Yun tightly. He was afraid that if he let go, Xiao Yun would leave again. Xiao Yun'er caressed Daodu's smooth little face and said softly, "Mother is here." "Mother, Daodu misses you so much." "Mother just left not long ago, why do you want to die already?" Xiao Yun'er's lips curved into a faint smile. At this moment, Xiao Yun'er saw Daodu. Her anger from old Madame Mu immediately dissipated. Old Madame Mu couldn't help but look at Daodu, who was in Xiao Yun'er's arms. Looking at Daodu's height, she knew that he was a few years old. She really didn't expect Xiao Yun'er to be the child's mother. Now, she didn't have to worry about Xiao Yun'er having other motives. It was impossible for a married woman with a child to have anything to do with her grandson. "Miss Yun'er's child is already so big, right?" Old Madame Mu asked with a smile. She seemed to be in a good mood. Xiao Yun'er responded. Then, she held Daodu's little hand and walked to old Madame Mu. She said to Daodu, "Daodu, great-great-grandmother." Children had to be polite. It was one thing for her to have a problem with old Madame Mu, but she still had to be polite on the surface. Daodu was also very obedient. When he heard Xiao Yun'er's words, he went to old Madame Mu and said sweetly, "Hello, great-grandmother." Chapter 377. The two of them chuckled. Business was pretty good. In just one morning, Mulan had sold nearly 200 copper coins. To Mulan, this was already a large sum of money. Although she couldn't do this every day, she could still make do with a few hundred copper coins a month. She could barely get by. Mulan sighed with emotion. "I'm thinking about when I can save more money and build a few houses. At that time, I'll have a separate house. It'll be more comfortable for my family to live together." At present, he continued to live with old Madame Zhu. When he heard old Madame Zhu's voice, he couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. If he had his own house and lived a little further away, he really wouldn't have anything to do with the Zhu family. Xiao Yun could understand Mulan's feelings. It's always good to have a dream. Life will get better slowly. Mulan sighed. That's true. Building a house costs a lot of money. Now that we're selling these things, it's already good enough that we can live on, let alone building a house. In the end, it was because of money. Xiao Yun looked at Mulan's injured fingers. She couldn't continue weaving baskets for a long time. It was tiring and hurt her hands. The most important thing was that she didn't make a lot of money. If she wanted to live a better life, she had to think of another way out. What kind of business could she do in this town? Xiao Yun suddenly thought of the snack stall. If she did it alone, she would be busy and strenuous. But if she did it with two people, it wouldn't be so tiring. She could also make more money. Xiao Yun had a feeling that she couldn't do business with Sun Zhongquan for long. She didn't know what Sun Zhongquan and Qin Hailan were doing. If she really couldn't do business with Sun Zhongquan, she could make a plan in advance. During the day, Mulan's baskets were almost sold out. After packing up the remaining things, the two of them went to the market to buy some vegetables. Mulan directly weighed a caddy of pork and brought it back. The children at home hadn't eaten anything good. She had some money on hand, so she had to buy some to nourish the children and satisfy their cravings. On the way back, Xiao Yun told Mulan about the snack stall plan. Mulan was very interested. "Yun, if possible, I want to do it with you. I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm happy as long as we can make money." Xiao Yun nodded. As long as she could make money, she didn't mind even if it was a little hard. "But Yun, I don't have the capital." Xiao Yun patted Mulan's shoulder. Yun, I feel that you're the one who loses out. How about this? When we share the money, you can get more and give me less. Or I can work for you every month, and you can give me a little salary. Mulan, don't you know our relationship? Don't be so polite with me. We can talk about how to share the money later. Let's go to Yang City to check the situation and see when we can buy the stall. Sure. After lunch, Zhao Yun wanted to go up the mountain, but there were a lot of officers and soldiers. These soldiers gathered in front of Zhao Yun's house, which attracted many villagers. They were all chattering about what had happened. Chapter 378. Fortunately, he was quick-witted and found an excuse. Otherwise, Matriarch Mu would definitely nag at him about his marriage again. It would be fine if he married Zhao Yun, but the problem was that Matriarch Mu liked Murong Shuang, the cousin he had no feelings for. Father, does your head really hurt? Do you want Daodu to massage it for you? Daodu asked considerately. Looking at Daodu's worried little eyes, Mu Lianfeng was touched. His son was filial. No, father was just teasing your great-grandmother. Mu Lianfeng said with a smile. Ah. Father. That's not good, right? My mother said that I can't tease people, especially the younger generation. I can't tease the elders. Daodu frowned with a serious expression. He said seriously. Mu Lianfeng felt that he was being lectured by a child. He couldn't help but laugh. All right, it's father's fault. Father shouldn't tease great-grandmother. Then does father's head really not hurt? It doesn't hurt. That's good. Daodu smiled at Mu Lianfeng. Helianchen looked at the interaction between Mu Lianfeng and Daodu. Why did he feel that the two of them were more and more like father and son? Mu Lianfeng called for the servants to bring some food over. He had dinner with Zhao Yun and Daodu. The next day, Zhao Yun and Daodu stayed in the Crown Prince's residence. Mu Lianfeng went out to help Zhao Yun investigate the case. Zhao Yun couldn't get involved with the case. She believed that Mu Lianfeng could help her settle it. With Mu Lianfeng busy, Zhao Yun was free and at ease. She stayed in the young prince's mansion because old Madame Mu felt that she was no longer a threat. She treated Zhao Yun kindly. Especially to Daodu, he doted on him as if he were his own great-grandson. Not only did he bring Daodu to play in front of him, but he also took out all the delicious pastries in the residence for Daodu to eat. Daodu usually stayed in the countryside and had never eaten such delicious food before. It was already rare for her to eat a piece of candy, let alone these expensive pastries. Great-grandma, it's delicious. Daodu smiled at Matriarch Mu. Looking at Daodu's puffy cheeks, Matriarch Mu smiled and said, eat more if you like it. Great-grandma has a lot here. Great-grandma, you're so good to Daodu. You're even better than Daodu's own great-grandmother. Daodu likes you. Daodu's soft voice, coupled with her charming smile, made old Madame Mu burst with joy. How could there be such a cute child? Looking at Daodu reminded her of her Feng when he was young. Didn't your own great-grandmother treat you well? Matriarch Mu asked with a smile. Daodu paused and shook his head. He looked pitiful. Great-grandma didn't treat Daodu well. She treated mother even worse. Why? Didn't your father protect your mother? Daodu didn't have a father when he was young. Great-grandma and the rest scolded mother. They said that mother was shameless to give birth to Daodu. Daodu was still young and couldn't express clearly about Zhao Yun's pregnancy before marriage. However, Matriarch Mu still pieced it together from Daodu's words. Zhao Yun gave birth to Daodu with another man before marriage. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart. Why was Zhao Yun such a woman? She really couldn't tell. Chapter 379. No, she had to keep a distance from Xiao Yun, after her grandson finished his business. If they didn't have a chance to get along, Xiao Yun wouldn't be able to seduce him. Mother is so pitiful. When Daodu grows up, you must protect mother well. Daodu said seriously. Seeing that Daodu was so sensible and filial, old Madame Mu liked him even more. She thought that it would be great if Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's biological son. It was a pity that such a child had a mother like Xiao Yun. When it was time for lunch, Xiao Yun came to old Madame Mu to pick up Daodu for lunch. Xiao Yun found that old Madame Mu's attitude towards her seemed to be much colder. She didn't know what she had done to offend old Madame Mu. Xiao Yun was not very enthusiastic when old Madame Mu was indifferent to her. This was how people interacted with each other. At least they treated each other equally. Miss Yun, I like Daodu very much. Why don't you let Daodu live with me in the Shizi's mansion in the future? Anyway, Daodu has recognized Feng as his godfather. You're a young girl and it's not easy for you to get married with a child. Let me take care of Daodu. You can also find yourself a husband. Don't you think so? Old Madame Mu's words almost made Xiao Yun vomit blood. What was this old woman talking about? Why would she give her own son to someone else? The corner of her mouth couldn't help but twitch. If it weren't for old Madame Mu's identity, she would have scolded her. Thank you, old madam, for your love for Daodu and your concern for me. But Yun only wants to live with Daodu in this life. I don't want to get married. Ah, you're a young girl. How can you not get married? You have to find a good family to marry. How about this? Many of the servants in my mansion have grandchildren who are about the same age as you. Do you want me to introduce them to you? With me in charge, it will definitely be better than finding someone else on your own. The more old Madame Mu spoke, the angrier Xiao Yun got. What old Madame Mu meant was that her status was only good enough for the descendants of the servants in the Shizi manor. She really looked down on her. Although old Madame Mu did not scold her, Xiao Yun felt that it was more embarrassing than scolding her like Hu Chanhua. Thinking about it, it was a little ironic. If someone of her status were to marry Mu Lianfeng, old Mistress Mu would think that she was being delusional. She had previously promised Mu Lianfeng that she would marry him. Perhaps this was something that would never happen in this lifetime. She didn't want to be humiliated like this in the future. There's no need for that. Thank you for your concern, old madam. Yun knows what's going on with Yun It's time for dinner. I'll take Daodu out for dinner. Old Madame Mu wanted to continue persuading her, but Xiao Yun did not seem to listen at all. She looked at her with disdain. So she nodded and let Xiao Yun take Daodu out for dinner. After Xiao Yun left, old Madame Mu snorted softly. What kind of person was this? A country bumpkin was a country bumpkin. She had no manners at all. Fortunately, she would not have any dealings with her in the future. Otherwise, she would be furious. For a woman like Xiao Yun, it was good for her to introduce her servants' grandchildren to her. She really did not know how to appreciate favors. After marrying into the Shizi manor, she would be a city dweller. Now it seemed that Xiao Yun only deserved to marry those dirty men in the countryside. Chapter 380. On the way back, Daodu noticed that Xiao Yun seemed a little unhappy. He asked in a soft voice, "Mother, what's wrong?" "It's nothing," Xiao Yun said. "But mother's face is gloomy. I know you're unhappy." Daodu pursed his lips. His little face was full of worry. Seeing that her son was so concerned about her, Xiao Yun felt a little better. She pulled the corners of her mouth into a smile. "No, you saw mother smiling. That's why you're not unhappy. Children were easy to fool. Daodu was also fooled by Zhao Yun for a moment. He saw that Zhao Yun's face had a smile again. Daodu also cracked his little mouth into a smile. Mother, great-grandmother is very good to Daodu. Today, she brought a lot of delicious things for Daodu. That's good. Zhao Yun couldn't deny that although old Madame Mu's attitude towards her was a little bad, she was really good to Daodu. Mother, when will we be able to live in such a big house? Our house is so small, so small. After having a comparison, not to mention Daodu, even Zhao Yun was a little disgusted by her broken thatched house that was about to collapse. Living in a big house was really much more comfortable. Mother, work hard to earn money. In the future, you can also build a big house. Based on old Madame Mu's current attitude towards her, Zhao Yun estimated that the matter between her and Mu Lianfeng would be temporarily put on hold. Therefore, she still had to earn her own living and take care of Daodu to live a good life. After 2 days, the case officially went to court. After Mu Lianfeng's investigation and evidence, the final responsibility fell on Qin Hailan. The bullfrog that had eaten the food was taken from the batch of goods sent by Qin Hailan. The bullfrog sent by Zhao Yun had no problems. The county magistrate acted according to the evidence and finally convicted Qin Hailan. Although Qin Hailan didn't intend to murder people, she couldn't shirk the responsibility of selling a toad and a bullfrog for money. Finally, Qin Hailan was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The Fuling restaurant had no intention of harming anyone, but they couldn't avoid responsibility. Thus, the restaurant was fined 200 taels of silver. Just like that, the case was closed. Zhao Yun was finally cleared of the charges and was not implicated. Walking out of the yamen, Zhao Yun heaved a sigh of relief. If she was alone, she wouldn't have been able to investigate so many things, let alone clear her name. Perhaps she could only admit that she had been wrong this time. The one who had been imprisoned was her, not Qin Hailan. Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng walked out of the cell side by side. Miss Yun'er. Sun Zhongquan called out to Zhao Yun'er. He also felt a little guilty about this matter. He knew that he had wronged Zhao Yun'er. If he had confessed Qin Hailan earlier, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't have been implicated. Sun Zhongquan came over. Zhao Yun'er had a cold attitude and didn't want to say anything more to Sun Zhongquan. Miss Yun'er, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault. I apologize to you. At that time, I was blinded by lard and accepted that woman's things. Now, this matter has happened. Zhao Yun'er snorted softly. Shopkeeper, I've warned you before. Don't let anything happen. Now that something really happened, I can only say that your restaurant lost 200 taels of silver. You asked for it. Chapter 381. Sun Zhongquan felt a little regretful when he thought about it. Not only was he fined 200 taels of silver, but the restaurant's reputation would also be affected in the future. What a restaurant was most afraid of was that customers would eat in the restaurant and have problems, let alone die from eating. The restaurant had been closed for 2 days, and Sun Zhongquan already had a premonition that the business would be miserable when he reopened the restaurant after returning. If he wanted the business to improve, he had to find some unique things. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to attract customers at all. Shopkeeper, it's useless to say this now. Things have already happened, and there's no way to reverse it. You'd better take care of yourself in the future. And the contract we made before, you can only buy from me, but you violated the contract, then the cooperation between the two of us ends here, and there is no need to have any contact in the future. Zhao Yun said coldly. This kind of person wasn't suitable for her to cooperate with in the long term. This time, there was a problem, but fortunately, it was solved. She couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be any problems with cooperating with Sun Zhongquan in the future. If something happened, it would be too late to regret it. There were other ways to earn money, so Sun Zhongquan was fine. Miss Yun, it's my fault, but we won't stop cooperating. Sun Zhongquan frowned and asked embarrassedly. What's the point of cooperating with a person like Boss Sun who goes back on his word? Xiao Yun replied. She didn't want to be entangled with Sun Zhongquan anymore, so she pulled Mu Lianfeng and left. On the way, Mu Lianfeng smiled and asked, Yun, are you really not cooperating with that restaurant? Xiao Yun nodded and responded. It's good that you don't cooperate. You have to wake up early every day to deliver goods. It's quite tiring. Mu Lianfeng's tone was filled with heartache. Xiao Yun was a woman after all. She couldn't work as hard as a man. Since she had him in the future, he could give Xiao Yun someone to rely on. Yun, I'll take care of you in the future. I'll take care of you. Mu Lianfeng held Xiao Yun's hand as if he was making a precious promise. Xiao Yun and Mu Lianfeng looked at each other and smiled. A woman should be most touched by a man saying this to her, but Xiao Yun also understood that this kind of words couldn't be trusted. She was a modern woman with her own independent thoughts. She didn't want to rely on a man for the rest of her life. Let's talk about this later. I'm afraid your grandmother won't agree to our marriage. In. Xiao Yun could feel Mu Lianfeng's sincerity. She also understood his helplessness, so she didn't want to give Mu Lianfeng any pressure. If they really couldn't be together, then they wouldn't be together. The two of them returned to the Shitzi mansion together. Matriarch Mu was playing with Daodu. Seeing that Daodu's clothes were of poor quality, she specially asked the servants in the mansion to make several sets of clothes for Daodu. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. There were 2 or 3 sets for each season. The clothes were just made and sent over today. Matriarch Mu helped Daodu change into them. The moment Xiao Yun returned, she saw Daodu in a new set of clothes. He looked just like a little prince. Daodu really looked a lot cuter when he dressed up like this. Chapter 382. Good. Xiao Yun praised. Daodu likes it. Mother, the new clothes are so comfortable. That's good. The clothes made of silk were very smooth on the body. How could it be uncomfortable? How could the coarse clothes she bought compare to it? Old Madame Mu stepped forward and asked with a smile, Has Miss Yun's matter been settled? Mu Lianfeng nodded, Yes, Grandma, it's settled. Is Miss Yun going back soon? Old Madame Mu's tone also revealed a kind of eagerness and impatience. Grandma, Yun hasn't been in our house for long. How can you say that? She's a girl. How can she stay in other people's house for a long time? This will cause misunderstandings. And Miss Yun's family will definitely be worried. Naturally, she has to go back. Old Madame Mu said with a smile on her face. But her eyes were mixed with disgust when she looked at Xiao Yun. To put it bluntly, she didn't like her and wanted to drive her away. This kind of feeling of being driven away was not good. Xiao Yun frowned. Before Mu Lianfeng said anything, Xiao Yun said, Old Madam is right. The matter is settled. I really should go back. Old Madam, thank you for taking care of Daodu and me during this time. Yun. Mu Lianfeng was stunned and looked at Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun smiled bitterly. Since she was looked down upon so much, what was the point of her staying in the Shitzi mansion? Instead of being despised like this, it was better to leave sensibly. Grandma, Miss Yun said that she wants to go back. You don't have to keep her. Shuang will come tomorrow. You should prepare well. Don't hide from Shuang like before. Give birth to a lovely great-grandson like Daodu with Shuang as soon as possible. Old Madame Mu's tone was a bit strict. Mu Lianfeng wanted to refute, but when he saw old Madame Mu's sullen face, he was afraid that old Madame Mu would not only not agree to be with Zhao Yun at this time, but also be more vigilant against Zhao Yun in the future. Young Master Mu, listen to old Madame. I'll go back and pack first. I'll go back later. Zhao Yun said in a low voice. The corner of old Madame Mu's mouth raised into a smile. She felt that Zhao Yun was quite sensible. Otherwise, she would have kicked Zhao Yun out. Miss Yun, I'll send you back in a carriage. Why don't you leave Daodu with me for a few days? I'll send Daodu back later. Old Madame Mu was happy that Zhao Yun left, but she was a little reluctant to part with Daodu. Zhao Yun's mouth twitched. She didn't know where old Madame Mu got the cheek to say such words. She wanted her to leave, but also wanted Daodu to stay. How could such a good thing happen? I'm very happy that old Madame likes Daodu, but I only have one child. I can't leave Daodu, so I still have to take Daodu back. Zhao Yun replied faintly. Old Madame Mu looked at Daodu's little face reluctantly. All right then, after Zhao Yun walked away, old Madame Mu snorted softly. A woman suffering with a child. I don't know what she's thinking. Daodu can live a good life with us, but she doesn't let him. She doesn't know how to appreciate favors. Chapter 383. You're speaking up for her. Humph. Anyway, I don't think it's necessary for a woman to make her child suffer. Daodu can have a good life with her, but she doesn't let him. Feng, I don't want to scold you, but you should stay away from this kind of woman. Don't be bewitched by this kind of vixen. Of course, old Madame Mu didn't say the last sentence. Mu Lianfeng saw that old Madame Mu couldn't be persuaded and sighed slightly. Grandma, I'll send Yun and Daodu back today. Feng, what are you doing? You're still injured. You should rest at home. There are many servants in the Shitzi mansion. Grandma, I want to send them back personally. Yun has been taking care of me these days. You don't want her to stay in the Shitzi mansion for a while. You should let me send her back. Mu Lianfeng said. He was afraid that old Madame Mu wouldn't agree and would nag again, so he left in a hurry. Alas, Feng, Old Madame Mu sighed again and again. She hoped that her Feng, just sent Zhao Yun, back and didn't mean anything else. Zhao Yun packed her things. Actually, she didn't have anything. She mainly packed for Daodu. Old Madame Mu made a big bag of clothes for Daodu. There were also some cakes and candies for Daodu. In less than half an hour, Zhao Yun finished packing. The Shitzi mansion had also prepared the carriage. As soon as she came out of the door, she saw a man in black come forward. He looked a little hurried. Master. The man in black came forward and bowed to Mu Lianfeng respectfully. Zhao Yun had seen this man before. It was Mo Yen. Why are you in such a hurry? What's the matter? Mu Lianfeng asked. Master, there's a letter from the capital. Mo Yen said and took out a letter from his sleeve. He handed it to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng opened it and read. Got it. Go and prepare. We'll go to the capital together tomorrow. Today, I will send Miss Yun home first. Mu Lianfeng instructed. Yes, master, the man in black responded, then glanced at Zhao Yun and Daodu. When he saw Daodu's small face, he was slightly shocked. This child was really similar to his master. Then, he looked at Zhao Yuner, and made some guesses. In fact, the last time he saw Zhao Yuner, he felt a sense of familiarity. It was as if he had seen her somewhere before, but he couldn't remember where. When she saw Daodu, she couldn't help but ask, "Is Miss Yun her from the Black Mountain village?" Mu Lianfeng saw Mo Yen gossiping about Zhao Yun's residence. "Do you think he cares too much about his master?" "Yes." Zhao Yun nodded at Mo Yen with a smile. Mo Yen frowned slightly. Was it really the person he was thinking about? "All right, you can go now." "Why are you gossiping about this as a man?" Mu Lianfeng urged with some disdain. Mo Yen found it inappropriate to keep asking, so she left. "Yuner, I'll help you up." Mu Lianfeng carried Daodu onto the carriage first before helping Zhao Yuner up in a considerate manner. The carriage slowly made its way to the Black Mountain village. On the way, Mu Lianfeng was rather reluctant to leave. Originally, he wanted to stay for a while longer after sending Zhao Yuner back. Even if Madame Mu urged him, he wouldn't return to his estate. Chapter 384. "Father, will you come back after sending Daodu and mother home?" asked Daodu. "Yeah, I'm going to the capital, and I won't be back for a while. I'll visit you and your mother when I'm back." "All right. Father, if you're back, please come to visit Daodu and mother as soon as possible." Yes, of course." Mu Lianfeng rubbed Daodu's head lovingly. Zhao Yun was interested in the capital that Mu Lianfeng mentioned. The capital wasn't far from Yang City, and it was only 100 miles away. In the 21st century, it would take a few hours to get there by car, but in ancient times, it would take a whole day to get there by horse carriage. Zhao Yun was planning in her heart that if she had the chance, she would go to the capital in the future. The world was very big, and she had to go out and see more of it. In addition, the capital was a big place where she could make more money. The horse carriage was much faster than the donkey, and they arrived at the village in a short while. When Zhao Yun arrived at the door of her house, she found it was a mess. Many of the vegetables that she had spent a lot of effort to grow were pulled out by someone. She knew that someone had visited her house. Seeing this, she was a little angry. She had only been away for a few days, and someone in the village had already done something immoral. Zhao Yun ran to the kitchen to check, and found that the rice and flour in the kitchen were all gone. It seemed that someone had taken advantage of her absence to rob her house. Damn it! Zhao Yun bit her lower lip and suppressed her anger. She had an impulse to beat someone up. If she knew who it was, she would skin that person alive. Mu Lianfeng's horse carriage arrived at the village, and it attracted the attention of the villagers. Seeing that Zhao Yun was back, they all went up to see what was going on. They had doubted Mu Lianfeng's identity before, but when they saw Mu Lianfeng's horse carriage and Mu Lianfeng's new clothes, they believed it at once. Judging from his aura, he must be someone important. There was nothing suspicious about him being the heir. Wow, it seems that Yun's husband is really the heir. That's right, then it's not simple. Little Yun is going to have a meteoric rise. Exactly. If old Zhao's family knew that Yun was pregnant with the heir's child, they wouldn't drive Yun away. They would probably take good care of Yun at home. Man proposes but God disposes. Old Zhao family deserves it. No matter how well Yun is doing now, it has nothing to do with them. Zhao Yun looked inside and out of the house. Except for the broken things in her house that were not taken away, the food and the like were all taken away, including her little donkey. She didn't think about it before she left, but now she felt that she had suffered a great loss. When Lu Fugue heard that Zhao Yun had returned to the village, he hurriedly rushed to Zhao Yun's house. Yun-er, you're back. It's great that you're back. Lu Fugui said with a smile. Yeah, Xiao Yun-er answered indifferently. She didn't have much enthusiasm for Lu Fugui. Her house was ruined, and she thought that Lu Fugui didn't care about it. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.